What you live for lives here.
There's not many vacancies left in this town, not for the most tradition-rich event in Kansas. In the Sunflower State, only its best citizens and proudest sons get to call themselves All-Stars. And tonight, on this last Saturday in July, they join together in a new venue for the children of the most honorable charity. Coming up next, East meets West in the 2017 Kansas Shrine Bowl. For the first time in the long history of the game, the event comes to the centerpiece of Butler County, where this sparkling 6,000-seat BG Products Veteran Sports Complex Stadium can't wait to show off what it has to offer as East faces West in the Kansas Shrine Bowl. And greetings, folks. Alongside Stan Weber, I'm Mark Ewing. Welcome to El Dorado. And this game is now old enough that it's become a generational thing. And I know you played back in 1980, and it's generation to generation tonight.
Yeah, and even for me for the first time, 31st year doing the broadcast, but the first time my son is playing, so I found the old 1980 jersey. I happened to play for the West. He is playing for the East. I think it balances out and shows my objectivity for this game. What a great thing now that he gets a chance to run fast so the strong legs can run, so the weak legs can walk.
Well, I'm sure that, Stan, that he has heard the stories about the Shrine Bowl, and you guys are a real Legion of the Stars. Now he gets to take part.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of fun. He's been around the game. He's been meeting the players throughout the years, and now he gets a chance to play for this East squad. And it's a lot of fun for him, and it's going to be a lot of fun for us because they want to get out and they want to throw the football. Mark, this is modern football. Spread out, 4 wide receivers, see if they can get the passing game going. The East is going to try.
Meanwhile, the West squad, they come in a rare occasion where they're trying to stop an East winning streak. They're big, they're fast, they're strong, and they got a lot of pop to go with that sizzle.
The East squad has won the last 2. They've never won 3 in a row, and the West knows about it. But they're going to be spread out as well. They want to run, but they really want to pass the football behind a big, strong offensive line. The West has won throughout history with physicality. The West is going to try to bring that physicality tonight.
Stan, I look forward to working another Shrine Bowl game with you. And, of course, it's always more than just a game. The Kansas Shrine Bowl turns 44 years old. We're going to help it turn to 44. Introductions to our All-Stars are just ahead.
How do you see the world?
Ha! At Shriners Hospitals for Children, we know that changing how you see things can turn them into everyday miracles.
Like riding my bike.
Breaking boards. Ha! Hugging my mom.
Every day for over 90 years, Shriners Hospitals for Children has been sending love to the rescue, regardless of a family's ability to pay.
If you know a child we can help, call or go online now.
What happens when you register your Cox account and get a user ID and password? You open up a world of possibilities for all your Cox services, like access to live TV and on-demand shows with the Contour app, and TV network apps to watch on the go. Cox Security Suite Plus, powered by McAfee, and phone tools to keep you connected when you leave home. Discover what you can do. Check out the Cox Discover More video series at cox.com/learn.
Reliability. For some, it's in their nature. You can almost take their behavior for granted. Always there, ever faithful. Sort of like how you expect your internet connection to be. Total reliability. With a whole lot of speed. That's Cox high-speed internet with access to the fastest in-home Wi-Fi. The speed you need today and tomorrow, right by your side.
Watching TV the way you want all starts with having the right connections. Cox high-speed internet and Cox TV. At home, you get access to the fastest in-home Wi-Fi to stream seamlessly on multiple devices. Away from home, you can access more than 300,000 Wi-Fi hotspots, so you can watch a variety of TV shows online or by downloading your favorite TV network apps. Learn how with the Cox Discover More video series at cox.com/learn.
They've settled in the stands to watch a good one. From Holcomb to Hartford and from Bueller to Basehor, the hometowns of the Kansas Shrine Bowl All-Stars can boast nearly every flavor of the Kansas gridiron landscape from east to west. The next class of Shrine Bowl All-Stars has taken the field at the moment on a gorgeous night for football. The East head coach is Derek Hamas, who directed the Rossville Bulldogs to the Class 3A state championships, which was a thrilling 48-42 overtime win over Heston in the 2016 state title game. He is assisted by Bob Lisher from Free State, Corby Millicent from Emporia, Rob Hedrick from Ottawa, Warren Seitz from Nemaha Central, and Brent Holding. He comes from Lynn. Coaching staff, they, like their players, are all all-stars. Meanwhile, across the field, Mark Marinelli, he's the head coach of Goddard Eisenhower, and in the fall he'll begin his and his 8th as a head football coach. Marinelli from Heston to Goddard Eisenhower to take over the football the postseason team in high school.
The NFL starts preseason, but if you want to and see people getting after it, it's right here at the Kansas Shrine Bowl to kick off the 2017 football season.
And I think they savor the right of being the first on the field for this 2017 football season. You look the East team, squad, Brandon Malikas at a Frontenac, 5'11", 180. Developed quarterback after a breakout junior season, which he threw 3,000 yards of total offense, 27 touchdowns. And he is in control of the East squads. Put a man in motion from left side to the right side, and Malikas is going to follow a blocker out to the 40-yard line, wrapped up, brought down there. Pretty stiff defensive team for the West squad. Tackle was made by Dylan Williams. So we take a look at what is the East offensive line. Pressler, Ketchner, Martin, Hastings, and also Bones. This East offense has some talented skill players, including Wilson, Huss, Letcher, Thomas, and Stringer. There's your starters for the East team. Second down and about 9. Short pass, swing pass. Corey Thomas grabs it. Gets it past the 40 into the 45-yard line. Here's the West, how they will size up defensively. Your starters, Jordan, Urban, and Walker up front. West is going to run 3-4. Here's your linebackers. Keep your eye on Marleny, Shank, Williams, and Sullivan in that linebacker spot. And then in the secondary, Tanner, Rand, White, Helbing, and also Pauly. There's your starters offensively and defensively as the first third down situation of this football game comes up. Third down and 3 for the East squad. From the 46, they need to get to about the 48-49. There's Malikas. Short snap. Looks like he's going to get a first down very close to midfield. Wrapped up there by Jay Shank of Valley Center. But looks like Malikas, he's a pretty tough guy. 5'11", weighs only 180. He is not afraid, Stan, of putting his helmet down and getting the extra yard that they needed.
He truly has a run-pass capability, and he's run the football a couple of times to start the game. The East gets a first down. The West is in a pressure defense. Everybody close to the line of scrimmage. Used to be you couldn't blitz, but now the defenses can be designed any way the coaches want.
Lucas, first down and 10 at the 49-yard line. Now scrambles out of the pocket, being chased. Looking downfield, got a receiver pass. It's going to be intercepted or incomplete. It's going to be intercepted. The West thinks they got it, and the West has it. Or do they? The East offense is still on the field looking for some clarification, and it's an interception. Downfield, the ball picked off by the West squad. That looked very close to being a trap as you take another look.
There's no instant replay, and Zach Helbing dove and tried to get to the football. The quarterback on a scramble trying to throw the ball over the middle. It's unlikely that he caught the football, but the official said that he did, and the first turnover of the game occurs. Good hustle, though, by Zach Helbing from Mulvane.
Zach Helbing, first team All-State defensive back in Class 4A out of Mulvane. He'll play his football right here at Butler, and he comes up with the interception. And the West squad is going to have it first down and 10 at the 40-yard line. We'll get to the quarterback and starters for the West team shortly. Short pass, wrapped up, brought down. Nice job by the East team defensively to make the play on Caden Davis. As we check the quarterback for the West team, Jacob Murray is 5'11", 195. He's had a great bend. First team All-Western Athletic Conference pick, all Class 11, Wichita Eagle and Topeka Capital Journal. All he did in high school was put together 6,275 career all-purpose yards and 82 touchdowns. This pass too low for the handle of Peyton Hill. That'll be a third down play. Here's your starters for the West offensively. Ruth Adler, Dreifert, Nance, and Rivas up front. Keep your eye on the right tackle at Hutchinson. And then your skill players, Gravis, Davis, Foose, Gonzalez, Peyton Hill. Man, that is a loaded offensive team, especially an offensive line up front. We'll see what they can do on their first series. The West team following the incomplete pass. Receiver got loose, but Dylan Foose behind him, and the pass is incomplete. So let's take a look at your East defensive line. Unruh, Usher, Pearson, Wyatt, Hubert. As East goes 3-4, Thomas, Henry, Steffen, Sarwinski. And in that secondary, Bully, there's Landry Weber and Joel Don, Adam Smith. And the West team in their first possession here is going to go 3 and out. Who's that guy back there, Stan? You recognize that?
Yeah, Landry Weber likes punt returning. Normally an offensive player playing defense tonight.
The punt is a bit of a shank. Landry's not going to have a chance at it as the punt went up and in the air. Punter was Peyton Hill for the West team, and as they mark this one out of bounds, I think it's going to be about the 44-yard line. So both teams, Stan, have had a chance at the football. Neither one could do anything with it, but hey, they got that out of the way, right? Things should settle down from here.
These games usually start with the defense having a slight advantage because the offense really has no idea what they're going to see, and it's been a very pressured defense. Both defenses did a very nice job. West getting an interception, the East stopping the West with a 3 and out. So the defense starts off good, but the kicking game is going to be interesting to watch. It is hard to get your kicking game going in such a short period of time.
Malikas looking for a short pass, finds a receiver, makes a nice little move, gets to the 50-yard line, to the 45, bursts forward to the 44-yard line, and boy, credit J.J. Letcher of K.C. Piper. He caught the football. Man, did he juke a play there.
Getting the ball down the line of scrimmage and making a one-on-one play is what you're going to see occur a lot with football played the way it is. Both teams trying to get that done, and right there you see it successfully being done. J.J. Letcher's dad played for the NFL as a wide receiver from the Miami Dolphins.
J.J. Letcher, first team All-Call Valley pick, now is trying to find some centerpiece of that West defense and gets it down to the 35-yard line. That is going to be a first down. 2 plays for the East squad, and East very quickly the line of scrimmage. They want to run here.
First down for the second time in this game, and the first time that the teams moved the ball across midfield. It's the East getting it down to the 35-yard line.
First down and 10, 35-yard line. Malikas looked to the near side. And now has some time, slips and falls back at the 38-yard line, loss of a couple of yards. He wanted to hit the accelerator, did Brandon Malikas, but he just couldn't find his footing there.
He's going to play at Pitt State as a defensive back. Here his last chance to play quarterback, and rolling to his right. So far he has thrown an interception and now slipped down. So right over there on that part of the field, near the line of scrimmage, not too good of performance yet. Brandon Malikas, he'll get better.
Well, we're going to get a pretty good kick-out block from Hunter Browning as well. And this is a handoff to the fullback. Fullback moves forward to about the 35-yard line, tries to get a couple more yards. As the East team elects to go conservative for at least a play. and give themselves a chance on third down. That carry was Washburn Rural Hunter Browning. Browning in on the carry. As you take a look at the sideline, there's the West head coach, Mark Marinelli, trying to get his defense to settle in here east. On a third down play and 10, there's Malikas. He's got 3 receivers in the top portion of your screen, decides to go the other way, and here's Corey Thomas. Thomas couldn't hold on to it, so Thomas drops it, and a fourth down play is coming up. Look, he had a little bit of a play development. He could have just held on.
Yeah, they had it set up perfectly because the middle linebackers were both firing and blitzing, which meant if you just got the ball to the outside, there's no one left over there except for the defensive backs who had to try to make a play, and there's plenty of green area to pick up some of the yardage, maybe not all. But rather than punting the football, they get lined up in formation. Now, will they quick kick it? Will Brandon Malikas kick, or will he actually try to throw a pass?
5 receiver set, no backs. Malikas back, looks like he's going to pass. He's got a receiver thrown over his head. Tried to find Corey Thomas, who had split away from the defender and actually was open about the 20-yard line. Had he got the ball to Malikas, to Thomas, that would have been a first down and then some, but instead thrown over his head, and so the East team will turn it over on downs.
The defender had to make a choice, and coming up to try to make a play, the defender left a receiver open, but the ball was overthrown on the run. Brandon Malikas cannot complete the pass, and the West defense holds on 4 downs, gives the ball in good field position to their offense at the 35-yard line.
East got a couple of first downs. Now the West is going to get it back their first time for the West squad. They went 3 and out, so back on the field, Jacob Murray and the offense. This time he's got a back straddled just to his right, and he's going to give it to the back. That's Cody Gonzalez. Gonzalez moves forward near to midfield. Nice pickup, about 14 yards as Gonzalez takes the handoff, a little underneath handoff, and the 2016 offensive MVP in the Class 5A delivers a first down for the West team.
He is big and strong, and this offensive line is impressive. The receivers are blocking downfield, and the West gets the ball right to the 50-yard line on that first down play.
First down and 10, the 50-yard line. Now the back, Gonzalez moves right behind the quarterback Murray. 4 receiver set. And looking for that receiver pass is going to be incomplete. Right there, Bryce Crouch was about to lay a big hit on 55, which is an interesting number. It's Jack Reifschneider out of McPherson was that pass was intended to. Reifschneider was a late addition, and the jersey that was available was 55. You won't see very many receivers wearing 55, but he's glad to be in the Shrine Bowl, and he'll take it. In fact, he's one of 2 players from McPherson High School in the football game wearing the jersey of the West squad tonight. Here's the back, 50-yard line. That's Gonzalez. Gonzalez moves forward to the 46-yard line. He's got some moves, does Cody Gonzalez, who's an all-state pick, 5'11", 200-pounder out of Goddard. And he, like a number of players, are going to be playing their college career right here. He's headed to Butler in the fall.
It's interesting, so many ties as I look around his ball game. He played at the same high school I did. It's nice to see a Goddard High School player out there.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has, but they were a part of the state championship game. Barely lost to Mill Valley 2 seasons ago, so
yeah.
Scott Vang's doing a good job as the head coach there, and boy, Cody Gonzalez is a physical-looking back.
Encroachment on the defense. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Big penalty. Dawson Hamas jumps into the neutral zone in high school. You don't have to touch anybody. That's a 5-yard penalty. Dawson is the son of head coach from Rossville, Derek Hamas.
Third down play and 1, ball at the 41-yard line of the East squad. West, second possession of the football game. Murray trying to get the first down. It looks like he's barely going to get it. He needed to get to the 40-yard line. He had to spin forward. The East team, led by the charge of, look like Bryce Steffens and some other defenders. 44, P.J. Sarwinski out of Galena, nearly stopped Murray short of the first down marker. In fact, they haven't moved the chains forward yet.
Physical run, though, by Murray to finish. That last little push got him past the first down marker, and they convert on third down.
They did just move the chains forward. First down and 10 at the 40-yard line. Here's Murray. Murray, Gonzalez, and Gonzalez is met hard, and met hard by Dawson Hamas, the 6', 210-pounder out of Rossville, All-State top 33 pick for 2016. Makes the contact to the line of scrimmage and holds Gonzalez just back to the line of scrimmage.
And number 9, Bryce Steffens, helping there as well.
Second down and 10. Murray looks to the sideline for the call. There's a long 10. 3 receivers, top portion of your screen. As the Great Bend product goes into a long count, it's going to call his own number. Trying to get to the edge, he's going to be pulled down for a loss. And in fact, a 2-yard loss. And guess who? Dawson Hamas, who's had an outstanding first quarter defensively for the East squad, makes the play, a loss of a yard of the West quarterback.
Big play, not allowing the quarterback to get around the edge, tackled him for a loss, and amazingly, his favorite football team of all time is the 1976 Super Bowl winning Oakland Raiders. He wasn't even alive then. How does he know about that team?
You know, tape, I guess. 3rd down and 11. Here's Murray. Murray looking downfield. Has time. Now looks across the other way. He's got a receiver in the end zone. Caught! Touchdown, West team. The West is on the scoreboard on a 41-yard strike to the end zone, and the catch is made downfield by Caden Davis. The 6'1", 185-pound receiver out of Ellsworth makes the catch, and the West squad takes the lead.
Jacob Murray, strong arm there, throwing the ball deep, waiting a long time to get the football off, and he got the ball all the way to the end zone. And now we'll see if these two teams go for two. Neither team really feels great about their kicking. They might kick PATs, but they're likely to think about going for two. And we're seeing, I believe, the West line up and take a chance to go for two.
So Murray in the offense, back on for the West squad, trying to add on to the 6-0 lead. Now they're going to call timeout. We're going to take another look at that score. And boy, downfield, it looked like he got behind the defenders by about 5 yards, and Murray just lobbed it up there. Nice catch on the end of this.
Yeah, he's looking to the left and then went back to the right and powered the football downfield. And a nice catch there waiting for the football by Caden Davis. The ball barely over the fingertips of the defender trying to get there. Bryce Crouch just misses the football, and on a long touchdown pass, you see the West take the lead.
Caden Davis, a 4-year letter winner in football, basketball, and also track, 2-time All-League as a defensive back. But in this game, he's showing off his skills as a wide receiver. And oh, by the way, Davis also can kick and punt if needed. The scoring drive, 7 plays, 65 yards. Took 2 minutes and 18 seconds, and Caden Davis officially a 40-yard touchdown reception from the quarterback, Jacob Murray. And the West is up 6-0. They called a timeout to settle themselves offensively. They understand that 2-point conversion could be important in this game. I don't think they liked the way they had lined up. So they kind of sorted things out. There's Davis, who just caught the touchdown pass. He lines up on the near side of your screen. And the snap is over Murray's head. And Murray better get to it. They can scoop that up and score. He's got it. No, they called it. The high school rules. And so 2-point conversion fails. High school, you can't scoop it up and run. But 2-point conversion fails, make it 6-0 at the 5:55 mark, and just couldn't get that snap going.
Yeah, just over the quarterback's head, and then it's just a scramble. Can you possibly get it and throw it up for grabs? Not this time. The East does not allow the 2-point conversion, so it is 6-0, and both teams might try for two a lot tonight. So let's watch how that factor comes into the ball game. Kicking, a real question mark for both ball clubs.
Well, Jacob Murray was a first-team All-State in Class 5A. He talked about all those career all-purpose yards. Well, here's how he can throw the ball deep when needed.
Yeah, it's a very nice throw. Good concentration there, because when you see the defender come into your face late like Bryce Crouch did, sometimes that can distract you. The ball was slightly underthrown, but what can you expect when you're rolling to your left, looking to your left, and then turn back to fire the ball almost 50 yards in the air to the goal line? Caden Davis makes the catch. He's not only going to be a football player, he's also going to run track here at Butler Community College.
In regard to the East team, it wasn't that long ago. They looked like the East squad might never win a Shrine Bowl, but they put together a couple of wins and trying to make it 3. The East team had to replace 12 players off the original roster of selections, including one right at the start of camp, so they started a little bit shorthanded as the return goes at a 23, close to the 24-yard line. And that was where the East will take over. This is their 3rd possession for the East team, starting from the 23-yard line. The first possession looked promising, but ended with a, let's just say, a not controversial interception, but probably not an interception. That was a trap rather than an INT. West took over their 2nd possession, put together a long drive, and here we sit at 6-0. And now the quarterback is Dalton Cowan. Cowan, 6'3", 190-pounder. He's out of Topeka Seaman. He led Seaman to a 2-8 mark in 2015, and then they turned that around, went 8-3 in 2016 as Seaman went undefeated against all the teams in Topeka during his senior year.
Good use of the snap count on his first play. What composure. I'm sure head coach and offensive coordinator Derek Thomas had a lot to do with, hey, let's try to get them offside so they get a free 5 yards.
Defense, 5-yard penalty. remains first down.
Dalton Cowan's dad, Jeffrey, played in the Shrine Bowl previously, and this young man has a strong arm, more of a traditional passing quarterback, not as interested in running the football, but has a very strong arm.
East team, as if you haven't noted, running a no-huddle spread. The catch is made and not much. Nice defensive play made by Hayden Friend of Plainville. As he sticks his helmet in, makes the play on the catch made by Jordan Martin. And when you make an open field tackle like that, you got to execute, in his first opportunity, nicely done.
Well, we talked about it earlier. You're going to see a lot of balls on the edge, right near the line of scrimmage, as you throw the ball down the line, and then can you make a one-on-one play? Who's going to win that one this time? Nice job by Hayden Friend, the cornerback.
Second down, 6 from the 28-yard line for the East squad, down to the West 6-0. Third possession gives off to the running back Thomas Stringer. Stringer out of Hayden High School. His dad, Tom, coached in this game 4 times not that long ago. We talk about generational football. Tom Stringer, the longtime head coach at Topeka Hayden.
And his brother Nick played in the Shrine Bowl. His dad was 2-time head coach.
Third down coming here, and a big play for the East squad. There's Cowan. Cowan wrapped up, brought down, and a sack. Sack is made by the West squad as Cowan never had an opportunity. A tackle was made by Jacob Jenkins. Jenkins, 6'3", 210 out of Harper Chaparral. He just worked his way around the blocker up front and had a handful of quarterback before he came to the ground.
Good inside move, getting to the quarterback, no time, and what a job by the West. How about giving a 5-yard penalty? The East only needed to go 5 yards in 3 downs, and instead they end up losing the 5 yards and are punting the football.
So punt coming for the East team. Cameron Wilson's the punter for the East squad, under some pressure. The punt is end over end. It's going to land actually in great shape for the East squad. Now the West squad is going to put it at the 35-yard line. Didn't even have to down it. That ball goes forward to the 35-yard line. It's going to be an 11-yard punt for the East squad, and the West is going to get it. The ball in a 6-0 lead and deep in East territory at the 35.
So we talked about the punting. Neither team has guys who are trained kickers to go out there and just take care of those specialties. It's regular players who are either playing on offense or defense who stepped up and said, I've done it some in high school, let's go. But a slight wind going from north to south, if you can believe that, in late July here in Butler County at El Dorado. And the West takes advantage with great field position.
West has the football, changing quarterback. I'll check the number in just a minute. Looks like Ethan Richardson at first glance. Back to pass, looking for a receiver. Pass is incomplete. And actually, the quarterback right now is Zach Esau. Esau is out of Heston, which would make sense because the West team is running Coach Clint Ryder's Heston spreads. The quarterback out of Heston, Zach Esau, gets the controls. They'll try to take advantage, the West team, of just a huge and talented offensive line, which includes Josh Rivas, K-State bound. Ben Adler's in there as well. West lining up with a deep roster, leads 6-0 on second down play. There's Gonzalez. Gonzalez moves forward, puts his helmet down, gets to the 30-yard line, pick up about 5 yards before the East makes the play.
He is a very physical back, and getting the ball on the edge to the left side has been successful for the West squad. Very much in this ball game, and right now they set up a 3rd and 5, get half the yardage on that first down play.
Cody Gonzalez, all-stater, 1,860 total yards, 18 touchdowns, 143-yard average per ball game. He has been a big part of the West offense so far. As a pass, Reifsnyder catches it down to the 15-yard line, pick up a 15 yards, and nicely executed by the quarterback out of Heston, who finds the receiver out of McPherson, Jack Reifsnyder, for a 15-yard gain.
Great run-pass option to fake in a quick hit over the middle. And Reifsnyder catches the football on the run, taking it down to the 16.
First down and 10 from the 16-yard line, looking for a receiver. Passes being complete. Reifsnyder had a fingertip on it for a moment. He was actually accompanied by Landry Weber on the play, close to the 10-yard line. Maybe he heard footsteps. Reifsnyder couldn't hold on to it. And instead, second down play coming up on the incomplete pass.
Zach Esau's throwing the ball very well for his first possession, getting the ball out to the receivers quickly and accurately.
Esau at quarterback gives a Gonzalez a little zone read up to the 10-yard line, moving about 5 yards. And boy, Stan, I'm just so impressed with the timing that they've been able to utilize in this game. They've only been together 8 days. This is pretty impressive.
Yeah, they do two-a-day practices, but still, it's very hard to get together. Now, remember, the West will probably be thinking about running 3rd and 4th down, and they get the East to jump off sides again. So rather than having a 3rd and 5, it's either going to be 1st down or 3rd and inches. Good use of the snap again. And these guys are jumping.
Dead ball. Encroachment by the defense. Result of the play after the 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
So they give them the 1st down, and it'll be 1st and goal. And with the kicking situation, they probably will use all 4 downs to try to get into the end zone. And the East is a little worn out. You see their hands on their hips. And that's the universal sign that guys are getting a little bit exhausted.
1st down and goal at the 6-yard line for the West squad. Esau gives to Hill, 5-yard line, tries to bounce outside, wrapped up, brought down to the 3-yard line. That's the young man out of Garden City. His dad's the head coach at Garden City and assisting the ball game, Brian Hill. And his son, Peyton Hill, 6 foot 220. He is well put together. The Kansas Football Coaches Association all-class 6A pick, all-state, all-area. They know about Peyton Hill in Garden City.
Yeah, he's big and strong. He was stopped at the 5 with many players pushing him back, and he still had the strength to fall 2 more yards down to the 3.
West team up 6-0, trying to add on to the lead. Now 2nd down from the 3-yard line. And now a couple more yards down the 2-yard line. That interior of that East defense is going to have to do the best they can just to try to keep those guys out. And that's a job. Jacob Unruh, Peyton Usher, Pearson, and Wyatt Hubert among that front line for the East defense, trying to keep the West out of the goal line. About a half-yard left. Esau leans forward. Did he get there or did he not? He did. Touchdown, West squad. Esau leans forward, and the West squad has a 12-0 lead over the East.
Powerful running, and that offensive line is big and strong, and they're able to get just enough push. He's tried to bring some people to the middle of the field, but reaching the football out, touching it down on the line, that is a touchdown. Zach Esau takes his team down, drives him down the field, scores on his first possession, and now they'll try to make up for the missed point after touchdown. Previously going for 2, they're going for 2 again.
Esau looks both sides of the line, has it back behind him, and Peyton Hill trying to fade a pass towards the corner of the end zone. Caught! And a 2-point conversion for the West squad is Ben Murray out of southeast of Saline. He plans to gray shirt at K-State in the fall. He catches the 2-pointer, and 14-0 West leads East.
Good pass on the fade route, dropping it over the outside shoulder for 2 points. And here is the offensive line working. The East thought they might have stopped him with his body, but he was able to reach that left hand out, Zach Esau, and then he follows that up with a nice pass on the fade, perfectly delivered. And there it is to Ben Murray.
West team had a short field to put together a drive. Only needed about 35 yards and got it nicely done, and a change of quarterback from Zach Esau. 7 plays, 35 yards. Zach Esau gets the final yard. And boy, Stan, when you come in the ball game as I'm not going to say the second team quarterback, the second quarterback.
There's no second team.
No second team in the All-Star.
They're going to rotate. They got 3 quarterbacks. There's another one, Ethan Richardson. They're going to rotate all 3 quarterbacks. It's hard to choose which one you're going to go out there with first, but they're all 3 going to play.
West kicking off toward the end zone. It's going to skip into the end zone for a touchback. And the East team will go forward from the 20-yard line. Let's talk about the East team a little bit down here, 14-0. A team trying to get some confidence here. And boy, if you're on the East sideline, what do you need to do to get that?
Well, the offense is going to have to move the football. The defense is worn out right now, and they are giving up 2 touchdowns on 2 possessions, down 14-0. So the confidence level is hard to have because you're an all-star team. You can't go back and say, oh, we've been here before, we played football together for years. No, these guys are all new together. So the West comes out, jumps on them, and the East just needs the offense to start moving the football.
This Cowan finding receivers, got one now. Can he get some yards out of it? He won't. He had a 4-yard loss. Is on the play defensively for the West squad. Dylan Williams out of Holcomb, who's actually undecided as to where he'll be playing football in the fall, or if he will. He made an outstanding play in the 4A Defensive Player of the Year. Stops the receiver Hunter Browning for a 4-yard loss.
He's a heck of a leader, reads things well. See how quickly he saw the action and was out there in the backfield. That's a 4-yard loss on a completed pass.
Well, the East team trying to get the hands of the skill players. They got a lot of them with Letcher, Cameron Wilson, Huss, Corey Thomas. And here's a give at the 20-yard line, at least back to the line of scrimmage and maybe another yard. as a senior quarterback Dalton Cowan, who was the City Offensive Player of the Year in Topeka and an All-Centennial League selection. He'll be playing at Emporia State. The Hornets are big on Dalton Cowan. They think he's going to be a good one. I can see why. He's got a great frame and a real good demeanor about him as for a quarterback.
Yeah, pretty smart guy. Wants to be an orthopedic surgeon someday.
3rd down and 9. 4 receiver set. Empty house backfield. There's Cowan. He needs time. He's getting chased down. Ball loose. And the West's got it. It looks like they knocked the ball loose, and the West has it, and indeed they do. On the recovery, Landon Urban out of Hoisington, 6 foot, 260 pounds. He'll be playing at Washburn University in the fall, and Landon Urban comes over the football. The second turnover forced by the West team. Another turnover for the East team, and the West has got it right at the doorstep again.
Well, the West is doing everything right, and their defense is going crazy getting in the backfield. We've seen negative plays from the East, and they're a fumble recovery. Nice job knocking the football away. And then Landon Urban, he's been very good all practice long. He's played high school as a linebacker, but now he's playing on the defensive line because he wants to do that for Washburn.
1st down and 10 for the West squad at the 17-yard line. And this time in the ball game, it is Ethan Richardson. Richardson in the ball game, and pass is intercepted. Intercepted by the East team. Bryce Crouch gets in front of the pass, and the East team gets the ball back, and boy, did the East need that big time.
That is well said. Nothing looking right for the East squad, and somehow on the first play, there is an interception. Good diving catch by Bryce Crouch. Well, here's a back-to-back turnovers, right? On this play right here, the ball's knocked loose. Big number 47, Peerless Walker, knocks it away. And then an interception gives the ball back to the East.
1st down, 10, 9-yard line, trying to find a blocker, and Malikas is going to get stuffed at the line of scrimmage. That is tough going up there, and actually will be about a yard loss. And that is how the first quarter will end. The West team comes together with a couple of scoring drives, taking advantage of a couple of East turnovers, but the East squad gets a turnover from the West, and it's still very much a ball game when we come back on a beautiful night here in El Dorado. 14-0. West leads East in the 44th Kansas Shrine Bowl. You're watching the BG Products Veteran Sports Complex at Butler Community College.
How do you see the world?
At Shriners Hospitals for Children, we know that changing how you see things can turn them into everyday miracles.
Like riding my bike.
Breaking boards. Hugging my mom.
Every day for over 90 years, Shriners Hospitals for Children has been sending love to the rescue, regardless of a family's ability to pay.
If you know a child we can help, call or go online now.
What happens when you register your Cox account and get a user ID and password? You open up a world of possibilities for all your Cox services, like access to live TV and on-demand shows with the Contour app, and TV network apps to watch on the go. Cox Security Suite Plus, powered by McAfee, and phone tools to keep you connected when you leave home. Discover what you can do. Check out the Cox Discover More video series at cox.com/learn.
Reliability. For some, it's in their nature. You can almost take their behavior for granted. Always there, ever faithful. Sort of like how you expect your internet connection to be. Total reliability. With a whole lot of speed. That's Cox high-speed internet with access to the fastest in-home Wi-Fi. The speed you need today and tomorrow, right by your side.
Watching TV the way you want all starts with having the right connections. Cox high-speed internet and Cox TV. At home, you get access to the fastest in-home Wi-Fi to stream seamlessly on multiple devices. Away from home, you can access more than 300,000 Wi-Fi hotspots, so you can watch a variety of TV shows online or by downloading your favorite TV network apps. Learn how with the Cox Discover More video series at cox.com/learn.
Alongside Stan Weber, Mark Ewing, 14-0 West squad. It's the 44th annual Kansas Shrine Bowl. The event used as a fundraiser for the Shriners Hospitals for Children, although the West has an all-time lead of 26-16 and 1 in the series. The West has won the last 2, giving it back-to-back wins for the first time since 2004 and 2005. Second down 11, short hitch pass, and out to the 15-16 yard line. That came out of the break in between quarters. Catch made by Corey Thomas, and the East stand needs to do a little bit more of that.
They want to get the ball to Corey Thomas. He's a dynamic player, but remember that they lost a little yardage on the first play of the possession. So even though we went to the quarter, it may get you out of rhythm and not realize that that was a second down play. So East has a very important third down, unless there's a 15-yard penalty for pulling his helmet off, and they didn't call that penalty. So the East has one of their few good plays of the early part of this game, but still not enough to get a first down. Important third down here for the East.
3rd and 3 at the 16. Trying to look for a blocker. Malikas needs to get to about the 19-yard line, trying to dance around for some room, but the West squad is having none of it. Lake Heimerman in on the play out of Halstead, and he got some help from his teammates. Jordan Paul out of Wichita Cape Mount Carmel, and then Justin Sullivan out of Salina South. And Jordan Paul out of Wichita Cape Mount Carmel, team captain, tough to block, and he showed why. Very versatile as he helps in on the play. I'll bring up a 4th down play for the East squad.
And a pressure punt for the East. Remember, their first punt only went 11 yards. So do they at all think about going forward on 4th down? The marker still shows 3rd down up there along the field, but I would believe it's 4th down.
Ball the 18-yard line. They're going to sort it out a little bit. It says 4th down on the scoreboard. The yard marker says 3rd down, but the officials are having a conversation. Gives us a chance, as the East has a timeout, to talk about the officials. They work in tandem crews from one half to the next. Shannon Haydock is the guy that organizes it, and Wayne Converse is the gentleman you see in the white hat. He's working alongside J.D. Moffitt, Keith Kinley, Bill Cleakin, Jared Griffin, Greg Williams on that crew for the first half, and they consider it an honor. They don't get paid for this. It's just part of their summer, and each and every one of them just says how much they enjoy it.
They get it clarified as well, as you would expect, and it is 4th down. So now the East sends their punter back, and the East had a bad first quarter. How about these 4 possessions? A fumble, interception, miss a 4th down, and then a punt, but a punt that went only 11 yards. So will the punt be stronger this time? The East sure hope so, as they don't get the ball too far off the goal line before having to kick the ball back to the West.
Cameron Wilson stands at his own 1-yard line. He'll punt. Eric Renier is the long snapper, and he's snapped in pretty good shape. We'll see if the East gets a bounce out of it. Indeed they do, from the 45 down to the 40. And that's where it'll be down by the East squad, but the West is going to take the field. The first possession of the second quarter is going to come from their own 40-yard line. West did a lot of things nicely, but the big thing the West did, Stan, is took advantage of field position. You get it handed in short field, you're going to score, and the East can't afford to let that happen.
Yeah, the East had one good possession defensively, 3 and out, and then after that, one long pass changed everything. Remember, it's 3rd and long for the West, and a heave down the field ends up being a touchdown, and from that point on, it has been momentum and plays over and over by the West squad. So the East defense finally gets a good roll on a punt. It ends up going over 40 yards, and the West will start at the 40.
First down and 10. Quarterback is Ethan Richardson, and Richardson takes the football, moves forward. He's got a first down. He's inside East territory all the way down to the 46-yard line. It was unfortunate for Richardson. His first play ended up being an interception, but he seems really comfortable with this type of keeper, as he calls his own number.
Yeah, right up the middle. Doesn't get much simpler when that big offensive line opens a hole up. Nice run by Ethan Richardson.
Richardson has a back to his left and looking for a pass play, and the catch is complete. This is Caden Davis. Davis, who already has a touchdown to his credit, picks up 3 yards, the 45 down to the 44-yard line. And that's a very popular play, those little hitch plays, but you don't realize how much timing those plays need. And again, they haven't had a lot of time to put that together.
Yeah, they're doing it pretty well. It is so important for the guys who are out there at wide receiver with the guy catching the football to block. That's the hard thing, is how do you time out your blocking? And they've done a pretty good job of it tonight.
Second down, ball placed inside the 45 down the 44-yard line. Here's a give to the back. Looks like Peyton Hill. Hill and the 40 gets a block down the edge. He was hit at the end of that. Number 13, Joel Don out of Mill Valley, just short of the first down. Had Don not got there, it would have been a first down, but that's going to be 3rd down and 1. But the boy, I'll tell you, Peyton Hill's a lot faster than he looks. He's got some wheels.
The two physical backs, Cody Gonzalez and Peyton Hill, have been a big feature part of the West squad early.
Third down 2, 43-yard line, and here's Richardson. First down for the West squad as he moves forward to the 32-yard line. Richardson, a first-year starter for Maize South, ended up breaking the school passing record in his very first season.
Well, these quarterbacks are physical runners as well. You've seen Jacob Murray push forward, and now Ethan Richardson. So the West men in the backfield finishing the runs with their size.
First down and 10 for the West squad at the East 32-yard line, up 14-0. Richardson back to pass, has a receiver caught. 30-yard line, down to 25, 20, 15-yard line, looks like Reifschneider. The bullpup makes the catch and moves it forward about 15 yards. Yards after the catch, nicely done by Reifschneider.
Yeah, great job so far early in this ball game, being a factor as a slot receiver. Run after catch. Two guys were near him when he caught the football, and yet he spun away from both of them.
That brings up a first down and 10. Chain gang is moving. As the West team now inside the red zone, here's Richardson inside the 10-yard line, about to the 9 as the Maize South Maverick takes the football, moves it inside the 10, and boy, the West squad really getting the line of scrimmage. East team looks like they're huffing and puffing a little bit defensively.
Yeah, and the West is just bigger and physical, more physical right now, have a lot of confidence, have great balance in their offense. It's run or pass, about 50-50, so there's no predictability to the offense.
Boy, Reifschneider, number 55, he's been a big part of it. Lines with the right side. There's Richardson, I give it back Hill, and Hill is wrapped up. Nice play by the East squad. P.J. Sarwinski out of Galena, who was a 1,000-point basketball scorer in his career. Playing a nice little football here. First team All-State defensive back.
He got off the edge and made a play. Someone has to step up and make an individual play, and he got off the line of scrimmage very quickly. Nice tackle by Sarwinski. The West still has 2 more downs to get 10 yards.
Third down and 10 for Richardson and the offense of the West squad. He's going to roll out to the right side under some pressure, has some time. Looking toward the end zone. Pass. It's intercepted. East comes up with the interception, picked off by Adam Smith of Atchison. Adam Smith of Atchison, the 5'10", 180-pounder, will be playing his football at Pitt State. Makes the big play and another turnover for the West squad. And boy, the West turns the ball over. The East really needed that one.
And trying to fit the ball in there. He might have been throwing the ball further down the field to Caden Davis, but falling off just backwards slightly. Adam Smith is able to catch the football. East does not have good field position, but they did keep the West from scoring to stay within 2 touchdowns.
Between the two teams, 4 turnovers, 2 from the West squad, 2 from the East squad. The 2 from the West squad have been interceptions. And here's Cowan looking for a receiver. Pass is incomplete. Got a chance to see his gun a little bit as he went downfield to Cameron Wilson, but the snap wasn't clean.
Boy, it was scary from an East perspective when he's bobbling the ball in the end zone, and we've seen Dalton Cowan have pressure on him and even take a sack earlier, and if that would happen, it would be a safety. They move the ball downfield for the first time. That's the first time the East has thrown the ball vertically. Boy, he has a strong arm, just flicked his wrist. It wasn't close, but he shows his arm strength overthrowing the receiver.
So you're down 10 from the 4-yard line. A little short pass, caught out to the 8-9-yard line, pick up about 5 yards, so at least East gives itself a little bit of space. Catch made by Corey Thomas out of Topeka High School. The Trojan makes a play.
But we're seeing both teams run a lot of the same things, but the difference is the West has been able to be effective running the football, both getting it on the edge with their big backs and quarterback up the middle. The East throwing the ball down the line of scrimmage just like the West, but they have not gotten any running game going.
East team needs to get the ball out to the 14-yard line. It's third down from the 9. Pass caught. First down for the East squad, and that's a catch made by Cameron Wilson. And now the ball is down, and it looks like the West is going to have it. Or is it down?
I think it's down after the catch. It'll be a first down. So on that 3rd and 5 play, the East finally converts.
Yeah, take another look at this play. Trying to get some extra yards out of it.
Yeah, the ruling is that he was down. Let's see. After he catches the ball, he has a first down. And good help. That should have been a fumble. We've seen it go the other way, and this time the West gets burned. They should have recovered that fumble, and the officials weren't able to see it, so rather than the West taking over deep in East territory, the East keeps the football.
East will take a first down attempt from their own 20-yard line, and now here's Thomas. Thomas, 20-yard line, 25-30. Makes a move inside, still on his feet to the 40-yard line, and that's the biggest offensive play for the East team so far, as a 21-yard pickup from the Topeka High Trojan as Corey Thomas makes a big play for the East.
That's the guy they've been trying to get the football to with some success, but Remember, we've talked about the lack of running game from the East. Well, there it is on the edge. A guy that normally lines up at wide receiver, Corey Thomas, uses his speed, is able to take it down the right side. And the most explosive offensive play from the East tonight.
4 receiver set. The offense, Malikas in the ball game, and ball is spun and backwards it goes. They give us to the back. And in on the pressure, Dallin Marley. This is going to be an absolute, if you've never seen this young man play, 6'4", 210, Marley, who's a first-team All-League, All-State out of Augusta. He is outstanding.
He comes from your top of the screen, around the corner, and there is just no room to run. He squeezed it from the outside, and the big guys had it all piled up in the middle. Again, West not allowing any yardage up the middle.
There's Malikas looking down, pumped once, now toward a receiver, pass incomplete. It was intended downfield like Cameron Wilson. He was well defended. Quarterback Malikas made a double pump and almost gave a little bit of space for Cameron Wilson. Instead, the defender right on the play.
Out for one play for loss of helmet.
And so a substitution is made. So
here's the head coach, Gary Thomas.
1 yard line.
See if you can see the helmet coming off here in the middle of this. Now they are wearing their own helmets.
Their own school helmets, and Jordan Paul is going to have to come out of the game for the West, number 22.
3rd down 10. Short hitch pass, caught, 40, needs to get to the 49-yard line. He's there, dances forward to the 45-yard line. That play made by Thomas Stringer out of Hayden, who has peace of mind, a presence of mind to make the catch, and then picks up a 1st down. Nicely done by Stringer.
They had an extra blocker out there, and this was not just throw the ball down the line. This was more like a screen pass. The running back's the guy who gets out there and then making the block right on the edge is big number 72, Drew Bones. He was able to log the defender inside, giving just enough room along the sideline for number 28, Thomas Stringer, to get a 1st down.
Well, I love the block by J.J. Letro downfield for the East squad. The first team, this East squad, has a 1st down at the 38-yard line, and Malikas is going to get back to the line of scrimmage. So the East team gets a little bit of momentum, but in on the play for the West squad is the Peerless Walker. And then on the bottom of that pile, we got Jacob Green. Green's out of Norton, 6'1", 220-pounder. He's a 3-time first-team All-League as an offensive lineman, and he just happened to be the 3-time All-Area Defensive Player of the Year. Get a lot of two-way players in these football games, especially on the front line, defensive line and offensive line.
Center Greg Martin is a left-handed snapper, and he's snapped a few of them a little bit high, which is taking the rhythm away from quarterback Brandon Malikas. So he'll need to tell him when he comes to his sideline they need to be a little lower.
Inside, 5 minutes to go before halftime. And there's Malikas, who spins forward, needs to get down to the 33-yard line. He's going to be wrapped up and brought down after about a 3-yard gain. He'll put it just shy of the 40-yard line. You know, it's going to be 4-down territory for the East squad. But Malikas trying to find some room, and just not a whole lot of room to find.
Twice the East has converted on 3rd down on this possession, and we're fortunate that the West, who recovered a fumble after a reception, didn't get credited with it. And here they are, 3rd down again, 3rd and long.
5 receiver set, 10th play of the drive right here for the East squad. 3rd down and 7, and Malikas with some time. As receiver pass was knocked down, at least tipped at the line of scrimmage, like Peerless Walker out of Derby right there, number 47 on your screen. Got a paw up there and tipped that ball down, and pass was incomplete.
Peerless is going to play his college football right here at Butler. Did a nice job over the middle. They didn't have super pressure at first, but he just said, time it out, get your hands up. Even though he was near the line of scrimmage, he opened up, and like a volleyball player said, I'm going to knock this one down. So it's 4th down.
4th down play for the East squad. Malikas, the quarterback. In the slot is Corey Thomas. 3 receivers near side of your screen, and Thomas is going to get it. Needs to get to the 33-yard line, does his best, dives forward, but he stepped out of bounds way back at the 38-yard line, so he's going to be about 5-6 yards shy, and the East team is going to turn it over on down. This was a drive for the East team to start in their own 4 and looked to be promising, but the ball is going to be turned over on downs, and the West team is going to have just under 4 minutes and the football on their own 38-yard line.
It was a good drive to get the ball off the goal line, give the defense some rest. That's important, but they still have to get out there as a defensive unit on the East side and see what they're going to be able to do before the half. That quarter has moved very quickly in the 2nd quarter, and the West.
So at the moment, the delay on the field is that one of the chain gang members got hurt, got in the way of the play. So they're looking at him on the sideline. Hope he's all right.
All kinds of action over there as Corey Thomas was diving trying to get to the first down marker.
Yeah, and by the way, those guys, they're the chain gang are the Shrine Clowns. Boy, he hung in there, didn't he? Hung in there for a while. Took a nice little hit at the end of it. I'm glad he's okay.
I don't think he thought Thomas would fly that far. No. And then he started getting back and got his ankle and right knee turned in there inside. And hopefully he'll be okay.
Yeah, I hope he's okay too. Those guys. You know, those other guys in the orange shirts down there, the volunteers, I didn't see any of them diving in to help him. There was a couple smiles on the sideline. I hope he's okay.
No, the rule is clear out when those guys with the pads on come flying your direction.
They might not have got that in the pregame instructions there. 14-0 West squad leads the East here from BG Products Veterans Sports Complex here at Butler Community College in El Dorado. First time El Dorado has ever hosted the game. Give us to the back, 40-yard line up to 45. The back, Cody Gonzalez out of Goddard. He moves forward, 8-yard pickup on the play. West team would love to score here before the half if they are able.
Yeah, this is an important drive for the West where they could put another score together and have that kind of lead going into the half. They would feel very good about it, especially the way they've been able to run the football there. Another example by Cody Gonzalez.
Second down 2, here's Murray. Murray's got some room midfield down to the 45-yard line. He's going to be wrapped up and brought down by the East squad's P.J. Sarwinski, but he gets a first down, and the West team is on the move.
Murray's back in at quarterback. They rotated each of the quarterbacks through with 2 possessions each. That was the plan going into the ball game. And faking to run one direction with a guy like Cody Gonzalez, the defense is going to have to be ready for that. And then the quarterback going the other direction seems to have a wide open area.
Murray to Gonzalez. Gonzalez puts it on the turf. Ball loose. Does the East team has it? Looks like they do. It may be P.J. Sarwinski, who's been a big impact player for the East team. The 6'1", 200-pounder out of Galena comes up with what is the West team's 3rd turnover. The East taking care of business. Sarwinski comes up with a fumble.
The exchange there on the read ended up going right between the 2 players. The quarterback and running back can't get to the football, and diving into there, P.J. Sarwinski gets the ball, but look to the right of your screen, and you're going to see one player, number 43, kind of back into Gonzalez. That defender, Dawson Hamas, kept Gonzalez from getting back to the football, which allowed his teammate to get there and recover another fumble.
East squad's got plenty of time here. 2 minutes, 53 seconds to go before halftime. Stay with us. We'll have the band and other things coming up at halftime. And there's Peerless Walker. You can't wait too long. Did Dalton Cowan, and Peerless Walker just lowered the helmet, and the crowd just awed at the sight of that hit.
Yeah, they pumped the football to the side and then tried to throw the ball deep. There's great coverage down there. And with them holding the football a little bit longer, it allowed the defender, Peerless Walker, to get there, and he has been big and strong and a giant factor early in the ball game. How many negative plays has the East had? Many in this ball game.
Walker 6'1", 255. Look like Cowan. Hopefully he's okay. Here's Thomas. Thomas trying to find some room, gets out to the 37-yard line. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down play. East had a real opportunity here, just needed to move the football downfield, but Peerless Walker and his West defensive mates making sure that doesn't happen.
And the East needs to be careful here. They are going backwards, and Corey Thomas is really the only threat that the East coaching staff is trying to get the ball to that's made a big difference, and the West is starting to track him closely.
Empty house backfielders, Cowan. Cowan with time. And a receiver pass was just barely behind Jordan Martin downfield, and a Kansas City Turner. And well, Cowan fortunate even to get the pass away, but it was just a little bit behind him. Pass is incomplete. East team's going to have to punt, but boy, the pressure was coming, Stan.
Yeah, here they come, and they're trying to get the ball in kind of a screen type of mentality to get some blockers out in front. But the ball thrown slightly behind another West defender. They're just so well defended, and the East took over the football on a turnover and then went ahead and lost 9 yards.
Cameron Wilson on the punt. This one's pretty good. Down to 35, takes an East bounce. It'll be down to the 30-yard line, and boy, very quickly, East ends up turning right over back to the West, and in fact, they're going to mark it about the 34-yard line. And with 2 minutes to go on these quick offenses, the West team has plenty of time to move down the field and score if they need to.
Now, the East cannot take advantage of the turnover, and that's been the story. The defense has a number of turnovers, not like they're dominating, but they do have some turnovers, but the offense hasn't been able to turn them into scores. The West defense has been awesome. The West offense has been better, and that's why they lead 14-0 with 2 minutes left in the first half.
Defensively, the East squad's biggest challenge was dealing with that sizable West offensive line. Lawrence's Jacob Unruh, Peyton Usher, Pearson, Independent, Shawnee Heights, Wyatt Hubert doing the best that they can. There's a screenplay set up and brought down.
Wyatt Hubert's a part of that tackle, number 81, and he's been the most dominant factor for the East throughout camp. But so far, the West has kept him quiet. This is the first time we've really seen him read the play and make a tackle on the screen pass.
Javon Baldwin was on the reception here, and that play was set up for a while, were it not for Hubert's play. Now looking downfield, Reif-Schneider pass is going to be incomplete. It was intended for Reif-Schneider in East territory about at the 45-yard line, and escorting him downfield, Landry Weber defensively, along with his looked like Adam Smith downfield for the East team.
Jacob Murray made his choice, very quickly throwing the flag route and just lofted the ball a little bit too far to the right side.
So third down and about 11. The West squad needs to get up to the 44-yard line, now at the 33. So they need 11 yards on the play, trying to get the East squad to jump. And in fact, they did. So the flag flies. There'll be a free 5 yards for the West squad. They'll move it forward from the 33 to about the 38-yard line. The West team has caught the East a couple times defensively on that play.
Oh, they've done that at least 3 times so far, getting a free 5 yard. And it's so much easier to get 3rd and 6 than 3rd and 11.
Third down and 6. Ball at the 38-yard line. And here's Murray. 4 receivers. Got a single back right behind him. He's using a pistol, and now Murray looks to the sideline and a change of the call. Clock stuck at 1:35 to go for the West team. Up 14-0 in the 44th Kansas Shrine Bowl. And here's Murray. Under pressure. Gets away from one tackler. Downfield has got a receiver, and the catch is made. What a catch made by the West squad's Dylan Foose out of Dighton. Foose out of Dighton, who was the 8-man Division II Defensive Player of the Year. Makes a play. There's an 8-man guy coming up big.
Good movement in the pocket. Nice pass. The defender actually hit him before he got the football, and he still was able to concentrate. Dylan Foose making a nice catch.
First down, 10, 50-yard line. Murray tried to roll out one way. Now he catches himself. The ball is going to be intercepted. Each team has a chance here at the 40, 35, down to the 30, 25-yard line, and the pickoff is made by Mitchell Wurzberger. 6'1", 200-pounder out of Wabaunsee gets his hands on the football, and the East team has a chance here to make a big play before the half.
Great pressure on Jacob Murray. He spun away again. It looked like he was going to make another big play, but this ball was knocked away by Wyatt Hubert. And then the ball bounced off a couple of players into the hands. Nice catch by the defender. Catching the football, Mitchell Wurzberger. But we've talked about Wyatt Hubert's been the biggest factor. And he hit the quarterback. The ball went up off Jacob Unruh. And finally, the East has a return down to the 25-yard line of the West.
There's Cowan looking for a receiver. He's going to go end zone, and the pass is going to be incomplete. The official in the corner of the end zone waved it off incomplete. For a moment there, it looked like it was either going to be picked off or caught. Defending for the West squad in the end zone was Ethan Richardson. Check that. Hayden Friend out of Plainville. And it was intended for Cameron Wilson of Coffeyville.
One-on-one. Both guys have their hands on the football, looking back toward the football, and you've got to catch the ball and keep it. And nice job of yanking it away, almost intercepting it.
Yeah, it looked like it snuck right between his elbows.
Hayden Friend does a nice job of almost making that a defensive interception, but making sure the ball hits the ground. It's incomplete.
We've already had 6 turnovers in this first half, 4 of them by the West squad, which has allowed the East team to have a couple of opportunities. Let's take a look at this. Look at the very end of this play, Stan, and how close this was to either a catch or an interception.
Now there it looks like the offensive player is going to win the battle, and then after he hits his back, suddenly the battle starts going toward the defense. And then there the official looked very close, and you see the ball scooting across the ground, incomplete.
Second down and 10 on the scramble. That's Cowan, 20-yard line, and onto the 18-yard line. East team has timeouts to use if they want it. I thought maybe Cowan might duck out of bounds to stop the clock, but instead he made a move toward the middle of the field, and the clock is moving, 41 seconds and counting.
Good scramble right there, and they'll use a timeout. So Plenty of time left with 37 seconds left. They have 2 timeouts now, using one of them. They have 1 left. But Dalton Cowan makes a nice run to slip by a defender.
Cowan did not get the first down play. It's going to be a 3rd down play coming up, so take another look.
Right here, it looked like he was in big trouble, but then somehow he slipped away from Jacob Green and dove forward, so he gave his offense a chance. It's 3rd and 3, but remember, the East has no kicker that they can rely upon. They're going to have Bryce Stephens from St. James Academy be their kicker, but they're not sure that he can do much more than a PAT. He didn't kick in high school. He's not a trained kicker. He just ended up being the best of the group as the 34 All-Stars practice some kicking. So the East is going to be going for 4th down here. They got 2 downs to get the 3 yards, but how will that factor in with the 44 seconds? They're going to have to be in a hurry. If I were the East right now and head coach Derek Thomas, I would say, let's just get this 1st down. Don't think about the clock until after this play. Once you get a 1st and 10, if you do, inside of the 15, then you can spike the football. Then you can use your timeout. Then you can think about throwing the ball to the end zone. All things you can do with the pressure being on the West. But if you don't make this 3rd down play by trying to hit a touchdown throw and it falling incomplete, then you have the pressure of it being 4th down. And so far, we haven't seen the East be able to make that momentum type of play on 4th down. They've had 2 4th down misses in this ball game.
East team breaks the huddle, sets the field. 3rd down and 3. They're at the 18-yard line. Needs to get to the 15-yard line. Does Cowan and his teammates to get another 1st down. And a 4-receiver set, single back to the left side, just off the hip of Cowan. As the play comes to the sideline, West shows a bit of a blitz and time. Toward the end zone, pass is incomplete, nearly intercepted. Nearly intercepted by Zach Helbing. As Zach Helbing out of Mulvane made the play. He'll be playing at Butler Community College next year, and didn't look like the receiver had much of an opportunity on that play.
A good defense right there. The ball had to be thrown over a linebacker, and right there with the football, Zach Helbing had a better chance of catching the football than the receiver. In fact, it looked like Corey Thomas just tried to play defense and knock it away. That means East has 4th down.
4th down, man in motion. Looking for receivers, got one in the corner, and it's going to be caught. Touchdown, East squad.
What a big time catch that was. It's a 4th down play, and the ball gets thrown in the end zone. Perfectly thrown by Dalton Cowan, dropping the ball in, man-to-man coverage, and he gets the ball into his receiver for a touchdown.
Cutter Huss out of Troy, the 6', 175-pound receiver, broke loose from his defender, and one of the best players to ever play at Troy. In fact, a school record holder in several categories, makes the play. He's headed to K-State. He's going to be a dentist someday, and the thought was, hey, Cutter, are you going to try to walk on and play football at K-State? The plan so far right now, nope, not going to do it, but never know.
Now we're going to see if Bryce Stephens can make a PAT. This will be an adventure.
East would like to get the points if they can get it. Cowan the hold. The kick is up, and it is.
He blasts it through.
It's right through. Nicely. Who said he couldn't? Bryce Stephens out of St. James Academy makes the extra point.
Okay, I got to tell you about Bryce Stephens, okay? I question his kicking. You know why I can do that? Because I know his family so well. I know his dad, John, and Heather. Heather actually cheered for the Shrine Bowl in 1989, and his dad is a good friend of mine because his grandmother, Bryce Stephens' grandmother, Jane, and her husband, Bob. Jane was my mom's best friend.
Is that right?
From the day they were born and met each other in the small town of Garden Plain, all the way through high school. I've known the Stephens family so well, and I was out there tailgating a little bit with them before the game. We were all laughing. Can Bryce actually kick it? And he blasts it through. So I know not only is his grandma going to be happy, but my mom is going to be happy. And another guy that should be very happy and very proud is Cutter Huss. He makes a catch on 4th down, scores a touchdown. But do you realize Cutter Huss, number 29 right now, has a brother, Otten, who's about 26 years old now. He had a farming accident in 2008, and he had to have leg prosthetics, and he had to have care from that point until he's 21 years old. And guess where he got that care? In St. Louis, Shriners Hospital of America. The 22 hospitals, the closest one to here, St. Louis. Otten Huss actually was a patient, and there his brother catches a touchdown pass.
That's unbelievable. Cutter Huss, the pride of Troy, catches the touchdown pass. The East squad, which just a couple of minutes ago was looking at a sizable deficit, maybe as many as 3 touchdowns. All of a sudden has cut the lead in half, and 14-7, 34 seconds to go before halftime. The kickoff, return coming from the 5-yard line out to the 20. Out to the 25. This is Jovan Baldwin. Baldwin, he's a tough customer. Baldwin from Junction City High School, the Blue Jay, bursts a kickoff return up to the past the 40-yard line and out to the 41. So 26 seconds to go. And again, in this type of game, don't necessarily just lock this game up as a 14-7 halftime score, because the West certainly capable of adding on to that lead if they can get a big play downfield.
Well, it's been a roller coaster ride here in the first half. And you better not turn off the television for any halftime activities yet, because who knows what will happen. We've seen so many turnovers, some long touchdowns.
There's Zach Esau, nice pass to Dylan Foose out of Dighton, and a pickup into East territory down the 44-yard line. Clock is stopped at 17 seconds as the chains move forward, and now timeout's going to be called. West wants a timeout.
They have 2 timeouts as well, so they could use one right here if they'd like.
15-yard gain. Good for a West.
Set the game clock to 22 seconds.
And they go back to 22 seconds before. So I don't think there's a timeout by West. I think they're just getting up to the line of scrimmage, using it as a timeout.
The back is Cody Gonzalez. Esau, the quarterback out of Heston, 4 receiver set. As the West squad is in East territory down the 44. Just saw the East squad put together a touchdown, 14-7, looking at a throw of a lob pass. It's incomplete, nearly caught, nearly intercepted. It was intended for Caden Davis out of Ellsworth. He's already had a touchdown catch to his credit. And he was defended downfield. That's a pretty nicely touched, thrown ball, wasn't it, Stan?
Well, he threw the ball up for grabs, and the defender, Landry Weber, was there, and he couldn't catch the football as the offensive player turned it into a defender and drug him down.
Esau, the quarterback, under pressure, and he is going to be brought down. At the 47-yard line, the East squad puts on a sack. It's Dawson Hamas, or rather Hamas is how you pronounce it, Dawson Hamas. And the clock is on the move, 8 seconds to go. Last couple of plays.
Loss of 3 on
East squads come through with a couple of some pressure.
Second timeout.
There's the battle between the defender, Landry, trying to play defense, and the offensive player getting there at the same time, and then a good sack into the backfield by the coach's son, Dawson Hamas. So now with 8 seconds left, you might see some kind of hook and ladder or just a deep ball thrown down. Why not for the West to take a shot? They're really not looking to get into field goal range because they really don't feel comfortable with a field goal kicker trying to kick a 40-yard field goal or something like that.
Coming up here at halftime, we're going to introduce you to the Masonic Band. The 34th Masonic Band for the Kansas Shriners is going to play for us at halftime, and you are going to hear it. We're also going to introduce you to some of the fine sponsors. So the halftime show, always an event here at the Shrine Bowl. That is coming your way next. In the meantime, 8 seconds to go, 14-7. West leads the East squad. Respectively, both teams, you take a look at the band, they had some practices, were limited as well. Both teams had only 13 or 14 practices to put together their offense, defense, and special teams plays. The quality play, certainly testament to their smarts and their want-to. They played well tonight, throwing some high temperatures to deal with. Remember, just a week ago, the heat index was about 108. Much better than having it 82 degrees here tonight at game time. Here's Esau. Esau still looking downfield, and pass is going to be thrown out of bounds. There's still 1 second remaining, at least on the scoreboard. 1 second remaining, was intended downfield for Caden Davis, as Esau did a nice job to buy himself some time, but not a receiver downfield.
And they made him roll to his left. It's hard to heave the ball deep downfield when you're going to the left, so he smartly said, let's just try to get 10 yards or so, get closer to the goal line. Now with 1 second left, the East is going to move their defense. All 4 secondary players are backed up 20 yards or so to start the play.
Well, defense is all the way back to the 30-yard line. 1 second remaining for Esau. He looks to the sideline and some clarification offensively. A single back, 3 receivers to the right side of your screen. And there's Esau. Under pressure, still on his feet, looking downfield, and it's intercepted. Intercepted by the East squad, and that is Hunter Browning. And Browning's still on his feet. He's to the 50, down to the 49, and another turnover from the West squad. By my count, that is the 5th turnover for the West squad in this first half. 7 between the 2 teams, and we head to the intermission here, and a 14-7 8-7 ball game. The East has battled back as Coach Hamas's squad found themselves in a 2-touchdown hole instead. It made it a ball game. It's 14-7 as the West gathers together. They'll have some instructions for Coach Mark Marinelli as they've got some work to do. We've got a ball game to watch. 14-7 here at the 44th annual Kansas Shrine Bowl. We saw a little bit of the good and the bad from both teams stand in this first half.
Well, I've never seen so many turnovers in a ball game, so it has been wild and crazy. The West should be happy with how they've played. They've been the better team, but they've made enough mistakes that they haven't maximized their score. And the East might be the happiest team walking to the locker room because they're only down by 7 at the half when they could have been behind by a lot more.
Let's take a break here. 14-7 is our score. East has battled back to make it a ball game and a fun first half to watch. Both teams making some impacts. BG Products Veteran Sports Complex. The action at halftime is on the way next.
How do you see the world?
At Shriners Hospitals for Children, we know that changing how you see things can turn them into everyday miracles.
Like riding my bike.
Breaking boards.
Hugging my mom.
Every day for over 90 years, Shriners Hospitals for Children has been sending love to the rescue, regardless of a family's ability to pay.
If you know a child we can help, call or go online now.
What happens when you register your Cox account and get a user ID and password? You open up a world of possibilities for all your Cox services, like access to live TV and on-demand shows with the Contour app, and TV network apps to watch on the go. Cox Security Suite Plus, powered by McAfee, and phone tools to keep you connected when you leave home. Discover what you can do. Check out the Cox Discover More video series at cox.com/learn.
Reliability. For some, it's in their nature. You can almost take their behavior for granted. Always there, ever faithful. Sort of like how you expect your internet connection to be. Total reliability. With a whole lot of speed. That's Cox high-speed internet with access to the fastest in-home Wi-Fi. The speed you need today and tomorrow, right by your side.
Watching TV the way you want all starts with having the right connections. Cox high-speed internet and Cox TV. At home, you get access to the fastest in-home Wi-Fi to stream seamlessly on multiple devices. Away from home, you can access more than 300,000 Wi-Fi hotspots, so you can watch a variety of TV shows online or by downloading your favorite TV network apps. Learn how with the Cox Discover More video series at cox.com/learn.
14-7 is our score at halftime continues. West leads East here at the 44th Kansas Shrine Bowl. At the field of the moment, the corporate sponsors of the Kansas Shrine Bowl are being honored. The mock-up checks you're about to see represent cash contributions, gifts in kind, and expense payments. And the corporate sponsors of the Kansas Shrine Bowl, many go back a lot of years. And the corporate sponsors, in fact, they go beyond merely advertising during the event. They become the Kansas Shrine Bowl partners as they help them partner with others. These companies and their employers are great humanitarians, and the Kansas Shriners certainly appreciate that they have presentations by some of the sponsors. The mock-up checks you're looking at will be presented by their company representatives and a Shrine Bowl volunteer representing cash contribution, the gifts in kind, and expense payments. And while they do this, they also take a moment, do the Kansas Shrine Bowl All-Stars to really mention some of the others that are on hand, including the first Vice President, East Camp Director Jack Hall, and Vice President Larry Wilson, Treasurer Steve Amsker, and Doug Voss, Greg King, Donnie Bohannon, Lou Robelli, Stan Jahay, Gary Bennett, Ike Bartels, Mike Powell, Drew Couch, Peter Martin, and Tim Williams. The Shriners are considered Masons first. They are fortunate to have the leader of the Kansas Masons, in fact, Cole Presley, who's is considered the master of the Kansas Grand Lodge of Ancient Free and Accepted Masons. He's on hand and glad to be so. But among the sponsors, and they're waiting in the end zone to be introduced by the public address announcer here. We'll go through some of them as we proceed along the halftime. You just heard from the band. This is Susan B. Allen Memorial Hospital with their $1,000 West Athletic Training sponsorship. Thank you to the Susan B. Allen Memorial Hospital. And then right behind them, The White Eagle Credit Union, they're sponsoring the Thursday dinner for football. That just happened to the Cheer and Patient Ambassadors. Their check for $1,250, again, courtesy of the White Eagle Credit Union. You'll have a lot of sponsors in the area as the sponsorship and the game moves from city to city, and a lot of the sponsors and certainly ambassadors in town become a big part of it. Davis Moore with their donation for $1,500. Davis Moore giving their money and their cash to the Kansas Shrine Bowl All-Stars. Butler Community College has been a tremendous host. $1,500 donation from there. Their generous assistance. And boy, in hosting this year's Shrine Bowl, I tell you what a great job they've done. And that last change of venue and their first go-around here. Had an excellent parade downtown, well attended and well orchestrated. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas has a check for, looks like $1,200, representing the health and safety sponsorship as they take the field. And then right behind them, the Farm Bureau Financial Services, their check is for $1,700, and for them, representing their Strong Legs Run 5K sponsorship for the Farm Bureau. Turner Consumer Services, their player sponsorship and award sponsorship for the Strong Legs Run, and a check for $2,000. And then you see behind them the Palmer Law Group, who hosted a silver level sponsorship. Their check $2,250 for the Palmer Law Group. And then there's MPIX out of Pittsburgh, donating artwork and picture book gift cards for participants. Their donation $2,500. As you may know, the 45th Kansas Shrine Bowl will move to Pittsburgh next year, back to Southeast Kansas, where they will no doubt do an excellent job of hosting the event. GTM Sportswear with their Select and Elite Cheer Team sponsorships. We're at $3,000 thanks to GTM Sponsorships. Has done a great job with Elite Cheer Team sponsorships and the jerseys and T-shirts that the cheerleading crew is wearing. Kansas Shrine Bowl Alumni Association, the past players and coaches, have a check for $3,455. They're all from cash donations made by the former Kansas Shrine Bowl players and coaches. And as the years move along, that group of alums grows wider and more prestigious by the year. In fact, a really, really long group of alums, and not to mention the coaches, Hall of Famers, one and all, NFL guys, former players of the Kansas Shrine Bowl. Lawrence Paper Company with their in-kind donation of banquet centerpieces, photo backdrops, camp boxes, totaling $3,600. Wichita Sports Forum right nearby and kind of new on the sports scene in the city of Wichita, located in northeast Wichita. The Sports Forum donations of both in-kind and cash donations at about $5,000. Adidas sponsored this year's game jerseys and coaches gear at $5,000, thanks to Adidas. Jerseys look pretty sharp. West team, you may notice, got a couple of additions. They're wearing their whites tonight, but looking a little bit different. Jocks Niche for their apparel sponsorship of $5,000. The Kansas Shrine Bowl, thanks to Jocks Niche for their contribution. City of El Dorado has really stepped up with a lot of events going on this week. And a gracious host, $5,000 host sponsorship. City of El Dorado earned the bid, and the Shriners made a bold decision to move the event to El Dorado, an event that had never hosted the event, but a great stadium.
It's the 8th different location we've had a Shrine Bowl in the 44 years.
Which is a move from Division II schools over the most recent era, from Emporia State to Pittsburgh State out to Fort Hays. Washburn has been a host. Addicts Gear has a donation of practice gear, both players and staff. YurView, Kansas, with a check for $13,000 for their jersey and ticket sponsorship. Root Laboratories with their $20,000 donation in support of the Kansas Shriners and the Kansas Shrine Bowl. Big tip of the cap to Root Laboratories for their contribution. The Kansas Masonic Foundation, their donation to tonight's events, the St. Louis Hospital for Children, $25,000, a sizable check. And Kansas Masonic Foundation always stepping up big for an event that is one of the best in the country at this level. The Midian Shrine touchdowners presented a check of tonight of $28,367.76.
$128,000.
Thank you to all sponsors.
Or does that say 28,000?
It's a lot of, it's a great amount of money.
Big number, either way.
The proceeds from that came from their golf tournament and contributions of their sponsors. And the Kansas Shriners, thank you on their behalf. They thanked all of the sponsors and advertisers in today's game, not only those who make cash donations, but also those who put in their time to make this weekend's events possible. It's been an outstanding event so far. We've got 2 quarters of football to go, and the crowd certainly appreciates all that has been done to make this event one of the best showcase events in the Sunflower State from year to year. Let's take a break here. You're watching the 44th annual Kansas Shrine Bowl from BG Products Veteran Sports Complex at Butler Community College in El Dorado. 14-7 leads West, leads East.
How do you see the world?
Ha! At Shriners Hospitals for Children, we know that changing how you see things can turn them into
everyday miracles. Like riding my bike. Breaking boards. Ha! Hugging my mom.
Every day for over 90 years, Shriners Hospitals for Children has been sending love to the rescue, regardless of a family's ability to pay.
If you know a child we can help, call or go online now.
What happens when you register your Cox account and get a user ID and password? You open up a world of possibilities for all your Cox services, like access to live TV and on-demand shows with the Contour app, and TV network apps to watch on the go. Cox Security Suite Plus, powered by McAfee, and phone tools to keep you connected when you leave home. Discover what you can do. Check out the Cox Discover More video series at cox.com/learn.
Reliability. For some, it's in their nature. You can almost take their behavior for granted. Always there, ever faithful. Sort of like how you expect your internet connection to be. Total reliability. With a whole lot of speed. That's Cox high-speed internet with access to the fastest in-home Wi-Fi. The speed you need today and tomorrow, right by your side.
Watching TV the way you want all starts with having the right connections. Cox high-speed internet and Cox TV. At home, you get access to the fastest in-home Wi-Fi to stream seamlessly on multiple devices. Away from home, you can access more than 300,000 Wi-Fi hotspots, so you can watch a variety of TV shows online or by downloading your favorite TV network apps. Learn how with the Cox Discover More video series at cox.com/learn.
14-7's our score. Look at that beautiful press box here at BG Products Veteran Sports Complex Stadium. $12 million joint venture between the college, USD 490, and the city of El Dorado. Construction began in November of 2011, was finished in time for Butler's fall sports seasons. I think if we wave, maybe you can see us there. I think here we are.
Yeah, very nicely done.
Yeah, I love this glass. It's a beautiful view, and we've got all the kids alongside us. So glad to have you
guys
on board.
These are Novacek boys right here beside us. Joe runs up show from downstairs, and they run the show from up here. So it's a family adventure, and there's a beautiful scoreboard. This stadium, state of the art here.
It is
for
absolutely sparkling.
Butler College.
Our first half was eventful. The West team built a 14-0 lead. I thought the West team was going to run away with it, but they kept turning the ball over and kept the East squad in. As we take a look at the highlights from the first half here.
Yeah, 5 straight possessions with turnovers held back the West, but they really got things going with the running game. It's Cody Gonzalez, a power runner. Peyton Hill helped out as well. But on a third down play, when both teams look like they're playing better defense than offense, Jacob Murray throws the ball. He heaves it down 40 yards, and Caden Davis takes it in. The West team leading 7-0 right here. And it just seemed an innocent little play. The 2-point conversion attempt missed with a bad snap, so it's 6-0 West squad. And it looks like both teams are going to be playing good defense. But all of a sudden, the West strikes back again. They get the ball down the middle to Reif Snyder. Jack Reif Snyder gets the football, and then on the first possession, Zach Esau puts the ball across the goal line, throws a 2-point conversion pass out to the left side to Ben Murray, and it's 14-0. Right now, the West dominating the football game, driving the ball into East territory and looking like they're probably going to put the game away. A real opportunity to go up 21-0, but the East makes a play. The defender, P.J. Sarwinski, stops the run, and then an interception right near the goal line by Adam Smith. One of 4 different East players to have an interception in the first half, and that turned the turnovers going the East direction. What a great play by Wyatt Hubert, putting pressure on, knocking the football loose, and Mitchell Wurzberger moves the ball down to the 25-yard line on an interception return, but it wasn't easy for the East. It was 4th down, but finally they get their first score. Dalton Cowan throwing the ball up on a fake. Cutter Huss pulls it in. 4th down, 18-yard touchdown. The East has scored. Very little work on the offensive end for the East. You look in the first half, the East only 104 total yards, but they are within 7 because the West has 5 turnovers. The thing I think we're going to look for here as you look down the stats, Mark, is will the West squad rely more on the running game? They've been so successful running the football. The East has been unable to do it. And with a 7-point lead and playing good defense, I think the West will probably run the ball a little bit more. Both teams basically 50% of their snaps running and 50% of their snaps passing in the first half.
We're going to take a timeout here for the historic Kansas Shrine Bowl in 1974. The first squad, East beat the West by a 16-14 count. They have played every year since, including 2017, the second half, when we return.
How do you see the world?
At Shriners Hospitals for Children, we know that changing how you see things can turn them into
everyday miracles. Like riding my bike. Breaking boards. Hugging my mom.
Every day for over 90 years, Shriners Hospitals for Children has been sending love to the rescue, regardless of a family's ability to pay.
If you know a child we can help, call or go online now.
What happens when you register your Cox account and get a user ID and password? You open up a world of possibilities for all your Cox services, like access to live TV and on-demand shows with the Contour app, and TV network apps to watch on the go. Cox Security Suite Plus, powered by McAfee, and phone tools to keep you connected when you leave home. Discover what you can do. Check out the Cox Discover More video series at cox.com/learn.
Reliability. For some, it's in their nature. You can almost take their behavior for granted. Always there, ever faithful. Sort of like how you expect your internet connection to be. Total reliability. With a whole lot of speed. That's Cox high-speed internet with access to the fastest in-home Wi-Fi. The speed you need today and tomorrow, right by your side.
Watching TV the way you want all starts with having the right connections. Cox high-speed internet and Cox TV. At home, you get access to the fastest in-home Wi-Fi to stream seamlessly on multiple devices. Away from home, you can access more than 300,000 Wi-Fi hotspots, so you can watch a variety of TV shows online or by downloading your favorite TV network apps. Learn how with the Cox Discover More video series at cox.com/learn.
Alongside Stan Weber, I'm Mark Ewing. Second half about to begin here. 14-7 West leads East. The game's purpose is to provide financial aid and support for the Shriners Hospitals for Children. Proceeds from this game support the Shriners Hospitals for Children, a network of 22 hospitals that provide expert no-cost orthopedic and burn care to children under 18 and 2. This game promotes Kansas high school sports and the state's top athletes. These former seniors some of them will play college football. Some actually are playing their last, what would be considered the last high school game tonight, generating, though, money for a great cause. $50,000 per year for the Shriners Hospitals. Strong legs run so weak legs may walk. That includes the officiating crew. You're looking at Gary Davis, as the second half is now operated by a different officiating crew, which includes Mike Simpson, Doug Wiltfong, Kirk Simone, Mike Brown, Clint Pearson, Rick Ruman's out there. Rick's out there somewhere. These officials, I run into a lot of them during the high school football years, and They do such a great job. They talk about just the pride, Stan, of being able to work this game, as do all the volunteers who are involved. They look forward to this night, this last Saturday in July.
And they love football as well. And they're just as engaged as coaches are. You think about coaching all the time, but the officials work together trying to improve the game and are giant advocates for it. Great opportunity for them to work out and get started here in college football and high school football 2017. These guys right on the verge. The players, the officials, are going to be going back to high school and getting ready. We're going to go to the second half here. What's interesting is all 4 penalties, 3 against the East for 5 yards each, and 1 against the West, have all been in the neutral zone. There hasn't been a holding call, a pass interference, or anything else. The first half officials are no longer officiating the second half, so everyone has to be ready to double check how they're doing things. The offensive linemen especially get in a rhythm. The umpire right near them, who would call holding, talks to them, says this is what you can't do. Be careful there, right guard. That kind of discussion. It's going to have to start all over for these players. West will get the football first with the lead. I think it's going to be important for the East to stop the run, because I expect the West to emphasize the running game.
Trenton Henry of the East team kicks off. There will be a return from the West squad, but not much. Short kick, return gets to the 30-yard line, and now we're going to dig in. It starts to get a little serious from here now as the East and West. The West team hasn't won a game for a couple of years, and for a rare occasion, the East squad is a 2-game win streak. And I'll bet you that the West team, which had a run of about 7 in a row for a while, has had a conversation about those 5 turnovers. What do they do, Stan, to turn that stat around?
Well, you just got to protect the football. You can't throw interceptions. Right now, when you look at the West, can you believe this? They've had 8 completions and 4 interceptions. So that ratio is just out of whack with any football team in modern football. They've got to protect the football.
First and 10, 30-yard line. Here's Gonzalez. Gonzalez is met, gets back to the line of scrimmage, and a couple of more. He was stopped for a 4-yard loss. Credit Cody Gonzalez of Goddard for getting 4 positive yards out of the play after what looked like a 4-yard negative gain.
And I think that's going to be the key. I think the West is going to protect from interceptions by running the football more, and it's going to be up to the East to see if they can stop them. And right now, it looked like they had a 2-yard loss, which turned into a 4-yard gain. So an amazing single effort by Cody Gonzalez.
Jacob Murray with Gonzalez behind him, and there's the pass caught by Reifschneider. Gets up to the 40-yard line. He may have a first down. Ball hit the turf, but it was down. And the catch is made by Jack Reifschneider to McPherson. He was a late addition, was Reifschneider, as he limps a little bit to the sideline. And he's made himself a very impactful player for the West squad.
Yeah, he's going to play for Fort Hays State, and he was looking upfield, trying to face off with Hunter Browning, number 6, and got hit from the side. Didn't see it coming.
Gets the ball to the 41-yard line. First down and 10 for the West squad. 4 receivers. And here's Gonzalez. Gonzalez after the 45 powers his way to the 47. 7-yard pickup for Gonzalez, who continues to be the go-to guy for the West squad, and with good reason.
Well, they have a good offensive line, and they've been able to run the football. Cooper Dreifert playing the center position. Ben Adler left guard. Samuel Nance right guard. Right tackle Josh Rivas, and left tackle Jared Ruth. They've been very good all game long.
Second down 3, looking for a receiver. This one's going to be overthrown. Closest to Bryce Crouch, who was a defender on the play, and it looked like a little miscommunication. Jacob Murray signaling where he wanted his receiver. But incomplete. And a third down and short will come up. Good look at Mark Marinelli on the sideline.
From Goddard Eisenhower, a 5A school, and he's just happy to see the ball fall to the ground and not into a red defender's hands based upon what he's seen in the last 5 possessions.
4 receiver set. Gonzalez right next to Murray, and Murray's going to keep it. 45 looking for the edge. East squad's going to make a big play. And it looked like that was Adam Smith out of Atchison. 5'10", 180. Smith shed his blocker and made the play for a loss. It looks like the West team's got to punt this one away.
What an amazing job by Adam Smith to come upfield. Read that the quarterback was going to bounce the ball outside, and he said, no way are you getting around here. Jacob Murray tackled for a loss. So the West had 2nd and 3, chose to throw the ball downfield, incomplete. Made it a 3rd down. The East makes a big play. And now they are punting the football in the ballgame. Only the 2nd time the West has punted. They've had so many turnovers, they really haven't had to punt.
West team punter is Peyton Hill. And Hill with a good punt. Fair catch called for and made by Corey Thomas of Topeka High School. But the East defense really setting the tone early on in this second half, as the East team is going to get the football down by a touchdown with really just moments to go in the second quarter. It looked like the West was going to take control of the ball game. Now East has the football and a chance to move down the field and grab that momentum.
Well, we'll see if East can get off to a quick second half start. I thought the East was going to have to stop the West running game and force them to punt the football. They do. Now they have the football down by 1 score.
First down 10, 27-yard line, and the receiver's got the ball and some room to the 50, to the 40. It's a race. J.J. Letcher, touchdown East squad. The East has rolled off a 73-yard touchdown run by J.J. Letcher of Casey Piper, who turns the corner, and the East squad is back to within a single point of the West.
Wide receiver jet run. And what speed we see from J.J. Letcher. The ball's on the right hash, so that allows him to use his speed to get to the outside. And he is able to outrun one defender, a decent block upfield, and then with angles beaten, he's able to fly down the field in the first play run by the East in the second half. And they have a 73-yard run. J.J. Fletcher, his dad Morris, played in the NFL with the Miami Dolphins. And you can see that talent coming through as the East has a chance to tie the game if they can make this PAT.
Bryce Stevens to line it up. Eric Renier is the snapper, and the point after is up, and it is good. Steffens is 2 for 2 in the ball game. A bit of a surprise as the kicker, and it's 14-14 as East comes away with a big home run shot. A 73-yard touchdown run from J.J. Letcher. And I'll tell you, there's some great blocking downfield. I love the block from Corey Thomas of the East squad as you take another look.
Now, Corey Thomas is number 3, and he makes a block right there at the point of attack as a wide receiver. Then the speed comes in, but 22, Cameron Wilson, also gets enough of a block to the outside, pushes his guy just enough to the outside, and you only need a little gap to get the ball through for J.J. Letcher. And that's the explosive play that the East team needed. Look at the crackback block. You got to stay above the waist. Number 3, Corey Thomas, does a great job of logging in the defender, Dallin Marlino, and then the block by the receiver, Cameron Wilson, at the point of attack. And just slight blocks, not dominating blocks, just good blocks, angle blocks, allow the play to go just as designed. And very few have for the East tonight. They have not run the football well at all. That turns around on one 73-yard touchdown run.
Just a year ago, Stan, the third time in the last 4 years, the East squad prevailed over the West. That time last year, remember, it was 48-27. It was the highest scoring Shrine Bowl game on a Saturday night in Welch Stadium in Emporia after West's run of 7 straight victories from 2006 through 12. K-State recruit Mike McCoy, a Topeka graduate, had a big night. Now Corey Thomas doing his job at a Topeka high school. So 14-14, West takes the field a little bit. Now the West needs to settle things down after they gave up the football, trying to find some momentum. Again, it looked like it was all West early on.
Kick out of bounds by the kicking team. Ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
Good look at Gary Davis as he takes over here in the second half of the crew. The Shrine Bowl coaching staffs are terrific. They consist of head coach and assistants from each of the Kansas football classifications, and they're all stars themselves, very willing to take a back seat to other coaches. And for the West squad, interesting that 3 of them, Goddard, Eisenhower, and May South, are within 10 miles of one another. Here's Murray. Murray moves forward from the 35 to about the 41-yard line as Murray sets the tone here for the West squad. I got a feeling the West squad needs a big play here.
Well, either that or just establish themselves, moving the ball down the field, completing some passes. They really haven't shown that they can complete the ball accurately time after time without turning it over. And I think their running game is good, so I think that's where they got to lean on right now to just settle things back down. It's tied 14-14, no reason to panic.
Little pistol set, and there's Gonzalez. Boy, they've got spies on him, nowhere to roam. As making the play, Trenton Henry out of Nemaha Central. He was in the West backfield in a moment, and he had Cody Gonzalez just turned him inside, and he gained just a couple yards out. It'll be third down and about 3.
Yeah, an important third down play here. The East has the momentum, but the West trying to take it away, can't afford to punt the ball right away back.
Gonzalez, 40, wrapped up, brought down at the 40-yard line, 2-yard loss. And on the play, Joel Don, the 6-foot, 180-pound safety out of Mill Valley, who was the 2016 5A Defensive Player of the Year, blasts through the West blockers to make the play.
On the edge to the left has been a good running play for the West all game long, but making the play, bounce further to the outside, and keep it parallel to the line of scrimmage. Linebacker Bryce Steffens does just enough to give Joel Don the angle to run through the alley and make a tackle for a loss. So it's 4th down and 4 yards.
We have mentioned the West team hadn't punted often. Now second punt, fair catch called for, taking a 31-yard line. That's Corey Thomas. Did a great job to weave around a couple of West guys who are downfield, including Zach Helbing. And the East squad, for the second consecutive series, makes the West go 3 and out. Now a 14-all ball game. The East has the football with Brandon Malikas in the ball game.
This is the second time tonight, only the first possession of the game has the East had the football in the game tied. Because the first time they gave the ball to the West, they went down and scored a touchdown. So you got to believe the East has a lot of momentum right now, even though they have the ball length to the 32-yard line. They've been the better team here in the second half.
Boar's J.J. Letcher. We're going to keep an eye on him. To the West defenders, there's Malikas. Malikas the 30. Gets up to the 35, 37-yard line, following the right side of his blockers for that East offense. Includes Jake Hastings and Drew Bones, center Greg Martin. As that East team is, big guy from Marysville. It's Greg Martin. He's 6'3", 330. That's number 67 you're looking at. He's having an outstanding game for the East squad.
He is a big, strong player. And he has a big, strong head. He likes telling the story. I'll tell it in a minute.
Second down 6. Lakers keeps it first down. Go ahead and tell your story. It looks like the East squad's got a first down.
Well, he accidentally fell down. There was nothing dangerous happening, but he did slip and he fell. His head hit the sink. The sink busted all over the place. And the player said it wasn't even close. And you may say, well, that's not the nicest story. I mean, his head may be sore. Let me tell you, Greg is saying, tell him about the story where I broke that sink. And it had no chance.
First down and 10. Here's Malikas. Malikas keeps it, pulls it back from there. Now that time they showed that little jet sweep, and Malikas kept. He got hit pretty hard. Malikas, who goes 5'11", 180, getting up a little bit slowly. He was hit hard by Jordan Paul of Wichita, keeping Mount Carmel. As he take another look?
Yeah, all kinds of action, but ultimately up the middle into a wall of white, and 3 different tacklers are there. And that's how the game started, with the East not able to run the football up the middle. The West interior defense so strong. And there's another play where they put a nice hit on the quarterback, Brandon Malikas.
Jacob Green of Norton in on the stop for the West team as the East squad here. Second down and 10. And this is Thomas. Thomas gets from the 43 to about the 46, pickup of 3 yards. Thomas has been the go-to choice for the East squad tonight, while Cody Gonzalez has done the same for the West squad. Both teams stand offensively, look almost exactly alike.
Yeah, they do. The plays much like each other. And it's really modern football now. You want to put the ball in the shotgun back to the quarterback. You have 1 back or no backs in the backfield, usually 1 back, 4 wide. And because of that, the plays are going to look much the same.
East needs to get to territory, the 43-yard line. Pass is caught. First down for the East squad, down to the 34-yard line. Catch is made by the East squad's Cutter Huss. He had a touchdown catch earlier. The young man from Troy, the offensive player of the year in 2015 and 16, and a top 11 pick, makes the catch.
He faked the down the line pass. It's been very successful, and then you sneak 1 player downfield, and that's Cutter Huss. His Troy team undefeated last year, 13-0. They were 2A state champs, and he was one of the main reasons why, making a catch downfield there for the East.
First down and 10, 33-yard line. Here's a pitch, a little option. Here's Thomas. Thomas down to the 35, 24-yard line. Line of scrimmage is at the 28, pickup of about 4 yards. And that was a little different wrinkle. That pitch option looked like Thomas was very comfortable with that play.
Yeah, and so was the quarterback. That's not the easiest thing to do. We talk about modern football. You have a quarterback run game. You throw the football, but you really run the old option where you get down and you make a pitch, especially when you're going to your left side. That was a left-handed pitch, and the East running the football for the first time tonight.
Pickup of 8. Down to the 25-yard line. Here's Malikas looking for a blocker on the right side. Spins forward. First down. Still on his feet. 10-yard line. Down to the 5. Down to the 4-yard line. And the East squad is going to be first and goal as Brandon Malikas spins behind his blockers, finds a way down, and has a big pickup for the East squad.
He's a good runner, and here he's very patient. Look at the big red wall. He just says, well, it's an option, but I think I'll spin and cut back. And look what happens. Overrunning the play. The West was all on the outside. They're worried about Corey Thomas and the pitch. And instead, the quarterback was able to get up the field and have a 22-yard run down to the 3.
East first down and goal at the 3-yard line. Malikas with Thomas to his left. 3 receivers, top portion of your screen. Malik's had a moment trying to get on the football. He's got it. Touchdown, East Squad. The East Squad has come back from 14 points down and now has the lead at 20-14 on the sprint to the end zone from Brandon Malikas of Frontenac.
Wow, what a play by Brandon Malikas, because it could have been a fumble. It might have been a turnover. The snap goes through his hands a little high, but watch how dangerous this is. West all over him, just bouncing off his left hand, and three guys slide to where he was catching the football. He gets it just long enough to get out of the way, and he sprints to the left side, able to make it inside the pylon. And what a comeback, down by 14 points earlier. The East has scored 20 straight points, with Bryce Steffens making it 21.
Steffens to the point after the East Squad, 21-14 on a huge drive of 68 yards, led by that young man, Brandon Malikas, who set the offense. The young man out of Frontenac who plays college football at Pitt State. And 36 rushing yards on the drive from Brandon Malikas, who gets the final 3 on a sprint to the end zone.
And the play was not designed to go to the left at all. It was designed to go more up the middle, and the West leaking through. West defenders everywhere. If that would have went off his fingertips and fell backwards, the West would have had the ball. Instead, he got it and got out of the way. 8 plays, 64 yards, a touchdown, a key third down pass by Malikas. One of the few times the East has gotten the ball downfield, but both times they've done it has been very effective. One, a fourth down touchdown. They're a third down conversion. But the biggest difference on that possession and the previous one, Mark, is that the East has started to run the football. It was not part of the repertoire. They did not go away from it. Derek Thomas, the head coach, actually had balance in his offense, calling as many running plays as passing plays in the first half. Just was never rewarded. Only 32 net offensive yards, many negative plays, but he stuck with it. And now the West defense is on their heels as the East mixes it up, running and passing the football to get their first lead of the game.
Javon Baldwin's back for the West team. You will note that East did not kick off to him earlier, and they're trying to angle it away from Baldwin. He's going to get to it. Baldwin at the 12-yard line. He is dangerous. Trying to get a blocker, still on his feet. Now gets a blocker in front and sprints forward to the 20-21-yard line before he's brought down by Bryce Crouch. And the West team down a touchdown at 21-14 inside 4.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Has the football. This is a West squad that scored on 2 of its first 3 possessions and has come up empty since then. That included 5 turnovers.
They haven't turned over the football, but they haven't been able to move the ball to midfield. They've been forced to punt at the 43 and 42-yard line, respectively, on their first 2 possessions.
First down 10, 21-yard line, and a pass knocked up, now caught. It was tipped in the air. The West receiver came up with it. I'm not sure if that came off a shoulder pad, a hand, or other.
I think Wurzburger, number 50, might have had the football bounce right off of him. It's almost like a jump pass that you might have seen in the old days. Throwing the ball and bang, right off the helmet. And then a catch. Great concentration by Dylan Foose to catch the football.
First down and 10, in fact, the West squad moves it forward to the 32-yard line as Cody Gonzalez ran into his quarterback, Zach Esau. And now Esau with Gonzalez to the right. Here comes that pitch option. Gonzalez grabs it, 30, 35-yard line. East ran a little bit of option. The West comes back and runs their own version. And a pickup of about 4 yards to bring up a second down and 6. Tackle made by Eric Render. He's out of Sabetha. One of the top 100 seniors in Kansas list prior to the start of last season. He certainly lived up to it. And now he is in the Kansas Shrine Bowl. As Gonzalez, 35, 40, need to get to the 43-yard line. He's got the first down and more up to the 45-yard line, but close to the 47 as the West squad has their second first down on this drive. It started at their own 21.
That's all they need to do is get a little momentum. Their running game is dangerous because they can break tackles. Their quarterbacks have been able to do it. Esau's strong enough. Jacob Murray definitely is. Ethan Richardson. And then don't forget Peyton Hill and Cody Gonzalez. All those guys are able to finish runs.
Esau to keep it. He made the USA Today All-USA Kansas football team. Young man out of Heston, 6 foot 180. He keeps the football and moves it forward to about 7 yards. That'll be second down along 3.
That'll be the West way of having success, I think, running the football, getting behind that big offensive line.
Esau with Gonzalez, who moves to the left side. Gonzalez is going to grab the pass. Has the first down to the 40, still on his feet to the 30, 25, 20, inside the 15, down to the 10-yard line. That was a simple play, but Cody Gonzalez caught the football, found a runway, and moves it all the way down to the 10-yard line.
They put him in motion, and they basically have a big sweep play. It's a pass, but it was really set up to be one-on-one out there to get the big back in a situation where it's like a running play. He's the guy to get the football to.
It is not first and goal, just short of the goal line. The handoff to the 5-yard line. And the West really quickly trying to get back to the line of scrimmage. The carry was from Gonzalez, pickup of about 5 yards. And it's second down and 5, just outside the goal line here.
Well, the West is getting some momentum now, and they're a little tired. The East is a little tired on defense.
Esau to Gonzalez, and Gonzalez going to get wrapped up, 2-yard loss. Look at the East squad who comes up and make the play. Wyatt Hubert out of Shawnee Heights, who's had a big-time game alongside Trenton Henry out of Nemaha Central, among the guys in the red jerseys in on the play as the West squad trying to find the goal line.
About 5 guys in on the tackle. Number 11, Adam Smith, comes up getting slightly injured, and he is able to get up slowly, staying on the field, and the West hurries up to the line of scrimmage.
Third down, and they are calling it third and goal. They have pulled up the chains, so it is third down and goal, marking it about the 7. Pass, caught, touchdown West. The West squad is pulled back to within a point of the East. The catch was made by Dylan Foose of Dighton, who made 88 catches for 1,331 yards during his career at Dighton, including 28 touchdowns. This one a big one as the West squad pulls back to within a single point.
Good throw by Esau. To fake a handoff and then throw it that quickly is not the easiest thing to do. Nice snag out of the air by Dylan Foose. And remember, West goes for 2, so we're not going to be tied after this play. One of the teams is going to be ahead.
Foose lines up, trying to find the goal line, and going to be denied. Going to be denied on a keeper, and it'll stay at 21-20. So the West does not get their conversion. The East has had 3 extra points, and the difference is 1 extra point as the East leads the West by a score of 21-20. Take a look at the score again. Nice hands by Dylan Foose.
Quick slant pass. The defender's right there, but he is able to take the spiral out, catch the ball right at the goal line. Look at this. Fake handoff, quick snap, perfect spiral. Not the easiest thing to do. There's a lot of players down in the short area of field. You have 10 yards of end zone to work with, so the safeties aren't going to be worried about falling back deep. Really a well-executed pass play to score a touchdown. It's not easy to score from 7 yards out. They go 79 yards in 8 plays. Do it pretty quickly. Still, 1:37 left in the third quarter, and we saw momentum all be with the West squad in the first half. And then pretty much all the third quarter that we've played so far at the East, finally we're back to balance. It's a 1-point game, and from here I think you can take the slate away and say, now we're ready for some football. Both teams feel like they're the better team, that they have a chance to win, and that should lead to some very good competition.
Dylan Foose on kickoff coverage now after scoring the touchdown, 21-20. I love these kind of games, Stan. They go back and forth. We had an excellent game last year, and this year's been very good so far. 21-20, and now the East team gets a return, and it'll come from the 4. Waiting for blockers is Thomas. He's got a little, I thought maybe he was waiting a little bit too long, but again, pretty good shape up to the 23, 24-yard line. I wasn't sure what Corey Thomas was waiting on, but Thomas knew exactly what he was doing.
Well, they ran the wedge back so far that all 11 East players were within about 15 yards of each other when they started. So there's a big pack of them. He's able to turn the corner, but he hadn't got a lot of momentum up. So even though it's pretty exciting for the return, the fact is the West could be very happy with that defensive play. East starts out only at the 24-yard line.
They're going to mention, put it on the 24-yard line. Nomination list processes of people that want to play in this game. 400 to 500 are nominated statewide. Only 68 become Shrine Bowl All-Stars. Here's Thomas. Thomas makes the catch, 30-yard line, out to the 33. So this is a very prestigious group, and the coaches always tell me if they only had 2 of these players on their team, they'd be a contender every year. That's how good they are, their caliber.
But one of the nice things is you see players from all different classes, all the way down to 8-man. Each team is required to have 2 8-man players, but to see those guys compete at the same level, not blink an eye, and then it just goes right up. You saw a touchdown reception by Huss. He's a 2A player. All the way from 8-man to 6A. You can't tell where these players have come from. They're all pretty darn good players.
Second down and 1. Here's Malikas, gets from the 35 to the 36-yard line. as they move forward, and so do the chains. I'll be interested to see exactly what the rotation is. Sometimes in these games, and again, each coach can kind of make their own call, but sometimes they'll rotate kind of regularly, and then it gets to the fourth quarter when it really starts to mean something, and then the rotation starts to stop a little bit, and the guys are playing to win.
Brandon Malikas on the East squad is more of the dual threat. When the running game's working and the passing game, he's more likely to be the quarterback. When they need to go straight pass, they'll go to Cowan.
Catch is made. Look at his wheels here. Still on his feet. First down. Out to the 40. Up to the 42-yard line and close to the 45. Crowd comes to its feet as J.J. Letcher, who caught that electrifying catch earlier for a touchdown, makes the most of a short gain, and the East is in business again.
Well, he had that 73-yard run, and this time he caught the ball for a short pass, but once he gets the ball underneath his arm, he can really go. And when you look at the East squad, it's Corey Thomas and J.J. Letcher, how they're able to hurt people, along with Cutter Huss making a few good plays here and there as well.
Hand off to Thomas. Thomas, Malikas were close together on that zone read. He moves forward to close to the 30-yard line, up to the 32. Corey Thomas with Letcher, and you see all the skilled players that the East squad is really putting on the field. Letcher, in fact, has 103 receiving yards at the moment. Second down play and 7. Let's take a look at Thomas. One of the best in the Centennial League, and certainly one of the best in the Topeka area. The receiver goes in motion. That is Letcher. In fact, Letcher's going to get it. Puts his fingers on the turf and then moves forward to the 30-yard line, close to a face mask. He's tripped up, brought down, and got a little bit of positive yards out of it.
And that'll end the third quarter. We're going to the fourth with a 1-point differential.
You are watching the 44th annual Kansas Shrine Bowl from BG Products Veteran Sports Complex of Butler Community College in El Dorado. We'll go to the fourth quarter with the outcome still in doubt when we come back to El Dorado.
How do you see the world?
At Shriners Hospitals for Children, we know that changing how you see things can turn them into
everyday miracles. Like riding my bike. Breaking boards. Hugging my mom.
Every day for over 90 years, Shriners Hospitals for Children has been sending love to the rescue, regardless of a family's ability to pay.
If you know a child we can help, call or go online now.
What happens when you register your Cox account and get a user ID and password? You open up a world of possibilities for all your Cox services, like access to live TV and on-demand shows with the Contour app, and TV network apps to watch on the go. Cox Security Suite Plus, powered by McAfee, and phone tools to keep you connected when you leave home. Discover what you can do. Check out the Cox Discover More video series at cox.com/learn.
Reliability. For some, it's in their nature. You can almost take their behavior for granted. Always there, ever faithful. Sort of like how you expect your internet connection to be. Total reliability. With a whole lot of speed. That's Cox high-speed internet with access to the fastest in-home Wi-Fi. The speed you need today and tomorrow, right by your side.
Watching TV the way you want all starts with having the right connections. Cox high-speed internet and Cox TV. At home, you get access to the fastest in-home Wi-Fi to stream seamlessly on multiple devices. Away from home, you can access more than 300,000 Wi-Fi hotspots, so you can watch a variety of TV shows online or by downloading your favorite TV network apps. Learn how with the Cox Discover More video series at cox.com/learn.
Dan Weber, Mark Ewing, 21-20 East squad. It's Corey Thomas. Thomas moves forward to the 23-yard line. It'll be a first down and 10 for the East squad, who's on the move. The East moving a 1-point lead to the fourth quarter in a ball game which the West led 14-0. And the East came back, scored 3 consecutive touchdowns, 2 in the third quarter to retake the lead. And then the West tacked on a touchdown but missed the 2-point conversion. And that's where we stand at 21-20. Now first down and 10 at the 23-yard line. The red squad, the East squad, close to the red zone. And there's Letcher. Letcher makes a move, 20-yard line, still on his feet, wrapped up, brought down to the 22.
No gain, basically, after all that action, but it's exciting every time he catches the football. The East has been very productive here in the second half. They scored touchdowns on their first 2 possessions. This is their third of the game. Running the defense is the head coach for the West, Mark Marinelli. And he is going against the offensive coordinator, who's the head coach of the East, Derek Hamas. Quarterbacking for the whole second half of the East has been Brandon Malikas, and they haven't been in second and long too much here in the third and fourth quarter.
Malikas puts a man in motion. That's Thomas. There's Letch, a ball on the turf, but recovered by the East squad. Fortunate that the East squad didn't turn it over. A very alert Mason Keckner out of Lewisburg, and my apologies if I didn't pronounce that correctly. 6'2", 293-pounder. He'll be playing at Garden City Community College next year, and watch him alertly get to the football.
Option reverse was supposed to go to 21. J.J. Letcher, who was going to fly around the left side. He probably would have scored, but they didn't execute the play. A lot of traffic over there, not easy to do. But what a good play by the offensive lineman, Mason Keckner, to go back and grab the football. But the West still just needs to stop right here. Down by one. Got to hold the East out. And the East probably would go for third and fourth down, but it won't be easy with 3rd and 15 facing them now.
Here's the West defense in press coverage. There are 2 receivers on the far side. And here's Malikas. Needs to get to the 22-yard line. He's still on his feet. 25, gets forward to the first down, and what a nice run. What a nice run by Brandon Malikas. That may be waved off, however.
Yeah, he made a nice run to get inside or near the 20-yard line. That'll make it 4th down and 8. But if it were flag football, he would have been down right there. Well, he only ripped half the towel off, so I'm not sure if that would be official in flag football. They usually come off a little easier, but Bryce Steffens did a nice job on PATs, but they're not going to send him out to kick a 37-yard field goal, so it's 4th down and 8.
All right, the first down marker is down to the 12-yard line for the East squad. Malikas gets his offensive teammate Thomas Stringer from the right side to the left side as the red squad, the East squad, tries to dig in and trying to get one-on-one coverage to Huss. Huss, incomplete. Boy, Cutter Huss on single coverage to the outside. Made a nice move, and the pass was nearly there, but nicely defended by the West squad. That could prove to be a big play in the ball game as the West squad is going to take the field again.
Yeah, good stop by the West. He just needed to keep him out of the end zone. The ball thrown a little bit to the outside, off the fingertips. But for the 3rd time tonight, the West gets stopped on 4th. The West makes a stop on 4th down, stopping the East. Brandon Malikas leading the team down the field, couldn't get in the end zone. So here we go. West team down by only 1. With the ball at the 20.
Hayden Friend defending. He's out of Plainville, played at Fort Hays State, MCL career leader all time, and now looking for a receiver down the field. Caden Davis, pass is incomplete. Caden Davis at Ellsworth looked like he had the defender, at least a step on him.
To even make it look like that might have been a catch was incredible. It looked like it was overthrown, and he stuck his hand out, and the officials had to look very closely not to think that was a catch. It looked like it bounced. It did bounce, but well, he made it smooth, didn't he? Look, I got it, but incomplete.
Must be a baseball player. Shortstop picking that up on the shortstop. It's 2nd down and 10 for the West squad on their own 20-yard line, and here's the give to the back. Moves to the 20 to the 22-yard line. East defensive guys, and there Unruh and Usher Pearson up front for the East squad, along with Eric Renier making a nice play to keep that in check. Good look at Wyatt Hubert, young man from Shawnee Heights, Centennial League Player of the Year.
He was with Kansas State with their football team in the spring, so he left high school a little bit early, made it to Kansas State in January, so he's already had a spring ball with the Wildcats, which is a heck of an advantage.
3rd down 7, back to pass, looking for a receiver. Pass is incomplete, intended for Reifsnyder downfield. Had him for a moment, also had a receiver downfield for Caden Davis. And it looked like the quarterback just would love to have that back. Zach Esau had him for a moment, but couldn't deliver, just over his head.
Yep, slightly overthrown, no chance for Jack Reifsnyder to go up and catch the football, so the West is forced to punt for the 4th time tonight.
The punter for the West squad is Peyton Hill, and Hill stands at his own 7-yard line. Gets a pretty good punt off, at least make it to midfield. Gets to the 50-yard line and rolls down to the 45 before Hayden Friend puts a finger on it. The East squad comes back on. 1-point lead at 21-20. Inside 8:25 to go in the ball game. What is on the line at the moment? The East squad has never, ever in the history of the Shrine Bowl won 3 games in a row from the West squad. They've come close a couple of times, but have a chance here in 2017 with Coach Derek Hamas from Rossville. who in the fall led his Rossville Bulldogs to the 3rd consecutive state championship. They have the opportunity as the East team to do exactly that, and that would be a feat.
Early movement by right tackle Drew Bones as he was going to pull to the left. So 72 gets called. First offensive penalty of the game. He's going to go to Illinois State to play football. Very good offensive lineman. And coming into the game for the first time in his second half at quarterback is Dalton Cowan. So he's going to be facing 1st and 15. The guy to your left moved just a little early as he was going to pull, as he had a running play designed to go to the left side of the field. You mentioned head coach Derek Hamas trying to coach his team to a victory here. He actually played in the Shrine Bowl in 1989, and he remembers very quickly that the East did not win that game, so he would love to win as a head coach tonight.
Cowan looking for receivers, got isolation and Huss, and the pass is going to be incomplete. Terrific job by the defender on the play. It was the West Squad's Nate Pauley. Pauley out of Garden Plain, 5'9", 170. First team All-State defensive back. 65 tackles and 7 interceptions during his career. Makes a nice play defensively for the West Squad.
You want to know how I know this guy? Nate Pauley's great-grandmother was my grandfather's sister.
Is that right?
Are you kidding me? He's related to me.
The Pauleys, very athletic, famous athletic family in the Garden Plain area. You didn't set up a little screen here. This is Cameron Wilson out of Coffeyville. Heard from him earlier in the ball game. Haven't heard from him from a while. He's a terrific track star, long jumper, 110 high hurdle, 300-meter hurdle guy.
With the West defense doing what it needs to right here, slowing down the East, not allowing them to take the good field position and use clock. This is a big 3rd down with that 5-yard penalty. They've had trouble overcoming it. Now it's 3rd and 13.
West Squad shows blitz, brings a couple of linebackers, and he spins out of it. Just Cowan to midfield, needed to get to the 45-yard line. I don't know how he didn't get corralled. Terrific job by Dalton Cowan to spin out of trouble.
And it shows you what the 5-yard penalty meant, because guess what it is? 4th and 5. Houdini act right here to slide out of that sack, then to get by these two defenders, and gets caught 5 yards short of the first down. The 5-yard penalty is the differential. They'd have a first down right now, but instead the West team gets the opportunity to send their punt return unit out, and the East team sets up to punt for the 4th time in the game.
Tanner Arand back. He's from Goddard Eisenhower. He is a speedster, 5'8", 170 pounds. If they can get him the football and some blocking, Arand is going to let it bounce once, and he's going to let it bounce inside the 5. Terrific punt. It's going to be down to the 5-yard line. In a game of field position, the East just served up a big one. That punt is going to mean that the West Squad is going to have to go 95 yards. As we get to one of the decisions we got to make, Stan, is for MVPs. I don't know how that. What do you think that voting's? I love J.J. Lecture for the East Squad. That's a pretty good choice.
Yeah, he's been explosive. He had the big run to tie the ball game up, so he would be in the conversation. Corey Thomas has been a featured player.
Cody Gonzalez for the West Squad. Pretty good choice.
Yeah, he's been a good running back, and they've been able to lean on him.
Ball moved forward. Here's Murray. Gets to the 5-yard line to the 10. And West Squad's going to have to knuckle down here behind their Great Bend quarterback. 6,275 career all-purpose yards. I keep mentioning that because that is mind-boggling. That and the 82 touchdowns. 3-year football, basketball, baseball letterman. Jacob Murray in charge of his team's rally now as the West team is down a point. Here's Murray. Murray going to do his best. Gets up, spins forward to the 18-yard line. He's wrapped up, brought down by Bryce Steffens of St. James Academy. There is a flag down, however.
Cody Gonzalez, running back, went in motion, and then he turned toward the line of scrimmage. He moved toward the line of scrimmage, which is an illegal move. And so there will be a penalty. Remember, they set that up earlier. Cody Gonzalez going to the outside.
Yeah, illegal motion. Back going forward. That's a snap. We'll repeat 2nd down.
Cody Gonzalez is a dynamic player. They've gotten him out to the outside, but if you watch this replay, see Gonzalez go in motion back to the goal line. Now he's running forward. You cannot run forward. You can do that in the Canadian League. I've been watching some Canadian League football.
I have too.
I just need to see some football, but you can do that there. You cannot do it here in American football.
Quarterback Murray standing back at his goal line. It was 2nd down and 5. Now it's 2nd down and 10. Trying to draw the East Squad offside. They're not biting. 3 receivers near side. One of the top portion of the screen. Single back. is 3 yards deep in the end zone. Here's Murray. Murray dances forward now to the pitch to Gonzalez, who gets out to the 10-yard line, needs to get to the 15, gets out to the 12. That wasn't the prettiest of plays, but at this point, the West will take 7 yards. That's exactly what they got on the pitch option.
It's an option look, but because he's behind the line of scrimmage, he's allowed to throw it forward, and he ends up throwing it forward, but completely legal if the linemen are not downfield. So the West is not in bad shape. It's only 3rd and 2. They just need to stay calm and get this 2 yards and keep the drive going.
3rd down and 2. We haven't talked about Josh Rivas, but he had a nice block. 76, the right tackle for the West squad, headed to K-State.
He was his conference offensive player of the year as a lineman at Hutchinson.
Pass caught. 1st down for the West squad and up to the 20-yard line. Dylan Foose again. Foose has had the big hands for the West squad, and on a clutch 3rd down play, Foose of Dighton moves the chains forward. The West will take control.
The old run pass option, and with the East squeezing in on the run, they have the guts to throw it to the outside and is able to pick up a 1st down. Ball out to the 20-yard line. Keep possession. Clock at 5:13. Plenty of time for the West to move the ball down the field, but you're not going to keep the ball and move if you don't convert on 3rd down, and they do it with that pass play. Dylan Foose going to Ottawa. Played 8-man football for Dighton.
1st down and 10, 20-yard line. Single back, 4 receivers for the West squad. Here's Murray. Murray's going to keep it, looking for some blocking on the right side, but nowhere to go. Is making the play Peyton Usher Pearson once again, along with Bryce Stephens. Stephens out of St. James Academy makes yet another play. He's going to be playing at Missouri Western. He's a good one.
Missouri Western is where the Kansas City Chiefs are working out now. And Bryce Stephens does a nice job fighting out the block and making a tackle.
So 2nd down and 10, ball at the 20-yard line. No gain on 1st down. Clock's moving. Inside 5 minutes to go in the ball game. 1 point, East 21-20 lead. Trying to set up a bubble screen, but the East squad is right there, recovers nicely, and the finish made by Trenton Henry of Nemaha Central. He was assisted on the play by Dawson Thomas of Rossville.
They're able to push forward for 3 yards, so 3rd down and 7 here, fighting those 3rd downs. You just got to continue to convert. Plenty of time left on the clock if you keep the ball.
3rd down and 7. Big play for the West squad. Earlier, Dylan Foose made a nice clutch play. See if he can do it again. Here's Murray. Murray lobs the pass toward a receiver. Pass is caught, but there's a flag down. There's a flag back at the line of scrimmage. That ball was lobbed forward, caught by Caden Davis of Ellsworth. And we're going to see who this penalty is on. It appears it's going to be on the West squad.
Could be the first holding call of the game.
We have illegal receiver downfield
yes.
on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
But it takes away the 3rd down conversion as he lofted the ball up high to catch the football. But the offensive lineman got downfield. Remember, the ball's at the 23. And right here, the quarterback scrambling around, and the offensive linemen get a little too far upfield, and the officials catch them. Sometimes they don't see it. That time they do. 5-yard penalty against the West.
3rd down and 12 for the West squad. Here's Murray. Has time. Looking for receivers, going sprinting over the midfield. Pass is intercepted, incomplete. Nearly intercepted by Bryce Crouch of Emporia and nearly caught by the West squad. 4th down play is going to be coming up. That ball was nicely thrown down the middle of the field.
Yeah, what a great arm by Jacob Murray to, even on 3rd and long, able to throw the ball and give his team a chance. Rolling to his left, throws back to the right, just a little bit short.
Yeah.
Good defensive play, getting his hands on the football. St. Thomas Aquinas Nick Bully able to hit the ball away. It's almost intercepted, but it doesn't matter from the East perspective because they forced the West to punt the football backed up.
On his own 3-yard line, and this bad snap picked up by the West squad, and he didn't miss. He whiffed on the football, and the East has it. The West, on a night where special teams was going to play a factor, they get a big play from Jacob Unruh of Lawrence, a first-team All-State selection who will play his college football at Fort Hays State. Gets in and makes the play on a mishandle by the West team and special teams.
The bad snap starts the things because it bounces off number 51. Now he's one of the upbacks, and the snapper really threw a good ball back. The upbacks have got to make sure they don't squeeze the snapper, but when the ball bounced off the right shoulder, there's no way the punter had a very good chance to get anything going. And Joel Don, number 13, was back there forcing him to move. And when it's all said and done, the East has a football inside the 10.
First and goal at the 9. Here's Malikas. Malikas to the 5-yard line, headed toward the pylons, being knocked out of bounds short of the goal line. But Malikas, who actually backed up to the end zone, gets close inside the 5-yard line, being marked at about the 2. As the East team has a chance to salt this one away right here.
Well, you see the quarterback's ability, again, to use his speed. There was not a lot of room over there. 2 defenders, but Brandon Malikas was able to keep the play alive, and not only that, get all the way down to the 2-yard line.
Second down and goal at the 3 for Brandon Malikas out of Frontenac, trying to lead his team to victory in the Kansas Shrine Bowl. There's Thomas. Thomas hit hard at the 3-yard line. There's a flag he saw flying over the middle of the field.
And if it's an offensive holding penalty, will be big, because the West is only down by 1. And if the East gets moved back and is unable to score.
Illegal chop block. 1 high block, 1 low block. 15-yard penalty.
Wow.
Repeat second down.
And now you move the ball 15 yards back. You've already used one of your downs, so now it's second down. And even if you go for 4th down, you got 3 yards to make about 18 yards. So on the back side, if you look on the back side, there's a defender who big number 67 is blocking, and then number 53 comes in as well. Danny Pressler and Greg Martin end up blocking the same guy, and they don't realize it. They're not trying to cut the guy. They each are doing different blocking schemes and end up touching the same player. It's very dangerous. It's going to be a call no matter where you're playing, even all the way through the NFL.
Second down and goal from the 17-yard line. East draws the West offsides and 5-3 yards. Got
that's a big 5,
Jordan
too.
Paul to jump off sides.
Both teams have been able to just take the jumpiness of the defense and the rules
Second down.
that you have in high school football. In high school football, if you just go across the neutral zone where the ball is, penalty, it's all over. In college, you go into the neutral zone. If the offensive player responds with a move, then it's a defensive penalty. If you don't touch an offensive player and the offensive player doesn't move when you get too far, you can scoot back and get on your side of the football. Not in high school. You get them coming across, Mark, it's easy to get 5 yards. Both teams have done that very nicely with their snap count.
Timeout called. Looks like the East squad wants to talk about it. At least the East coaching staff is on the field trying to get a clarification. There's Coach Thomas.
He says he wants the clock to be starting, and he wants it to be running to limit the amount of time that the East has, and he's telling his offense to take a little bit of time. And the West is going to call timeout and not let the clock run while they're at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that's good.
West.
From both coaching staffs to realize what was going on there, and that forces Mark Marinelli to call a timeout. Still a 1-point ball game. 21-20, final 3 minutes and 6 seconds of this football game. The squads are honoring the late coach Eric Driscoll of Blue Valley, worth mentioning here. And boy, what a sad occasion it is for everybody. He died at the age of 43, did Eric Driscoll, after suffering a brain aneurysm. He's certainly a huge fan of the Kansas Shrine Bowl, and they're wearing ED. If you look really closely, the officials actually are wearing the ED on the back of their hats, and some of the helmets have it as well. And certainly a tip of our cap to the Eric Driscoll family. Just a heartbreaking story.
His reach across the state is pretty amazing. This is one of the nicest guys ever. He cares about football so much that coaches from all over the state knew about him, even though he's on the very east side at Blue Valley High School. He not only cared about football, he knew everyone's name in school, people who weren't even interested in sports. He would tell them hi. He was involved. He was a beloved figure, great leader, and he sounds so nice that you might say, oh, I don't know, is he very good? Oh, Blue Valley football is dominant. He was a dominant coach. He coached state championships as an assistant, as a head coach, as a player at Blue Valley. And I know a number of players very well that were on his team at Blue Valley, and they love this man. It was saddening to the whole state when he passed away.
Second goal from the 13-yard line. Malikas tucks it in, and he is wrapped up and brought down by Dylan Williams of Holcomb, the 6-foot, 220-pounder, the 4A Division II Defensive Player of the Year, makes the stop for the West squad.
A great stop by the West to keep Brandon Malikas from getting away from the pocket, because if he would have got away, he might have found something to happen. But now, making that stop, good tackle by Dylan Williams. It's 3rd down 17. West takes the timeout, uses their second timeout here of the second half. Plenty of time left with 2:56 left. You need to make a stop here. And if you're the East coach, you're thinking about getting the football either to Corey Thomas and J.J. Letcher on the run, or just throw the ball into the end zone and see what you get. Can you get a score from here? And you might try it on 3rd down and 4th down, because you're unlikely to send out Bryce Steffens to kick a long field goal. But back to Eric Driscoll, the touch he had in the community was amazing. And I knew him, and I knew how great his football team was, and I knew how well they played. And sure, a lot of people love their football coaches or teachers that their favorite teachers. But Eric Driscoll, I didn't find out until he tragically passed away at, where was he? A coaches convention in Kansas City, a convention of both Missouri and Kansas coaches in the Kansas City metropolitan area. He was up speaking to them when he had the brain aneurysm, died a few days later. But after hearing the stories and learning more about him, his day-to-day activities away from the football field, he was an amazing man. And then when I came to the Shrine Bowl and we're talking to coaches from the West, and they act like he was their next-door neighbor. That's how well they felt they knew him. I'm amazed at how awesome Eric Driscoll was for all the kids and other coaches around the state.
West shows blitz east. Here's Malikas. He's wrapped up right down to the 22-yard line, leading the charge for the West squad. Guess who? Dylan Williams, who came all the way from western Kansas to show his wares tonight. He has been huge for the West defensively, and he makes the sack to keep the chances alive for the West squad.
He's been the leader throughout camp, and here he's on a blitz, was able to arm over and go right past the offensive lineman into the backfield and makes a tackle. Very physical football player, going to Garden City Community College. And now, what do you do if you're the East? You don't kick a field goal. You don't think about punt. So you've got to get the football away. I don't think you have a slow developing play. You got to throw the ball up. And they may be looking for Cameron Wilson. You've seen a lot of Corey Thomas, J.J. Letcher, and even Cutter Huss. But the tallest receiver at 6'4" is Cameron Wilson. He hasn't had many opportunities tonight, but this is the time where I think you say, let's just throw the ball up, have a jump ball. They may even bring in Dalton Cowan to throw the ball because he's more of a passing specialist. It's easier, I think, for him to throw that high ball and get enough velocity on it to get it downfield pretty quickly, get a spiral on it, and get it into the end zone. I think that's the best that the East can hope for. West just trying to knock the ball down, get a sack, anything other than a touchdown, and they will get a chance to get the football back with over 2.5 minutes left in the game.
What a job by the West defense, who ended up the East was at the 5-yard line, knocking on the door of clinching this victory away. Instead, the West defense has held up nicely. Now 4th down and goal from the 21 for the East squad, up by a point, 21-20. Huge play defensively for the West. And here's Cowan looking to the end zone. Pass Huss, pass is incomplete. Threw a pass to Cutter Huss from Troy. He was open for a moment in between two receivers. Instead, pass goes incomplete, and the West team has the football now, a chance to come back here.
Great job by the West defense here on this overthrow. The ball falls incomplete. Remember, that punt mess up ended up with the East having the football at the 8. The West defense, helped by a penalty, shuts the door, does not allow a score, and actually drives the East back to the 21-yard line. So now head coach Mark Marinelli will send his offense out with the ball at the 21-yard line, and more than likely, they didn't even try PATs. I don't expect them to be trying field goals, so they've got to go the full 79 yards to get this win.
West can operate quickly if they want to. Inside 3 minutes to go, 1-point ball game. East leads West. West has 79 yards to navigate. Here's Murray. Murray gets the football off, passes, and nearly intercepted by Bryce Crouch. Crouch had it in his hands. It was intended for Caden Davis of Ellsworth, but Crouch had it for a moment, just could not snag the football, and the West has another opportunity here thanks to the dropped interception.
Rolling to your left, it's hard to make a good pass, and this one is underthrown, and should have been an easy catch, but just slipped out slightly. Great hustle, though. Look at Caden Davis hustling as a wide receiver to knock it away.
Murray looking to pass as a receiver. Ball's caught at the 30-yard line. First down, still on his feet. There's Caden Davis, 40-yard line. Breaks across the field down to the 30, and the West squad is in East territory. Caden Davis making a short catch, making the money play, and now the West is in business.
East squad playing very aggressive defense all night long, tries to make a tackle right at the line of scrimmage or tries to knock the ball away, and that opens up an opportunity. And Caden Davis, who just made a great play, not allowing an interception, makes another great play down the left sideline.
Here's Murray. Good to Gonzalez. Murray's going to keep it inside the 30, now the 25-yard line, down to the 24. 2:20 to go in the ball game. West squad is on the move. And when the East defender missed, that opened up things big for Caden Davis.
Good concentration to make a catch, and then how about run after the catch? Downfield, deep downfield, and here we go. 50-50 chance of who's going to win this game.
2nd down and 6. Here's Murray. Murray's got a receiver wide open. Down to 20 to the 15-yard line. Ball knocked loose. It's on the turf. Does the West squad have it? The East has it. If so, the East may have just salted this one away. And exactly the 6th turnover of the ball game for the West team. And the East has it and a chance at winning this football game. The recovery made by unofficially Nick Bully. Bully on St. Thomas Aquinas. There are flags down and probably some penalties for extracurricular activities. But a 21-20 score, and the fans really reacting to the play.
Great strip on the play. Unbelievable job by Nick Bully. I said it was a 50-50 opportunity of who's going to win this game. And you can see right there on that pass play, it looked like West had a great situation. Then as he started to pull away, there was some open field, and you go, wow, I think the West is really going to get the ball down to the 10-yard line. There's going to be a minute and a half, minute 40 left. And now we're looking at the West having a slight advantage, but the ball's yanked away by Nick Bully. And I think the penalty is after the play was over, which may back up the East if it's on them for bringing too much celebration and too many players onto the field. We'll see.
Unsportsmanlike. On the East. Unsportsmanlike. On the East, twice. We'll go half the distance to the goal twice.
Wow.
First down.
It isn't over. You have to snap the ball back and not turn the football over. We haven't seen snaps that are perfect tonight, but look at that strip, an unbelievable job. And the players diving back, it looked like Foose had the best opportunity to get it. But here the East is pushing and shoving a little too much for one penalty, and then a bunch of players onto the field so close to their sideline. So the East is backed up all the way to the 5-yard line.
Line of scrimmage would have been the 24. It's now the 4-yard line, and it should be back in the end zone. It's going to be a safety. Ball knocked loose, back in the end zone.
They're going to say he got out to the inch-yard line.
1-inch-yard lines, are they going to mark it? Wow.
Those two penalties are so damaging to move the East back to the 5, and they almost had a safety. Everyone snaps the ball. I don't know why you wouldn't think about quarterbacks sneaking it with the hands underneath the center, but they haven't practiced it all camp long. So now the West is going to be firing off the football, trying to get back there, and this play almost was a safety.
Yeah, worth noting, Stan, it's a 1-point ball game, so a 2-pointer would give the West the lead. And they're at the 6-inch line. Crowd settles in, 1:10 to go. Malikas gives the teammates, going to be a safety. It's going to be a safety, and the West has taken the lead on the tackle by Tanner Arand. The East trapped in the end zone. The West has the lead at 22-21 with 60 ticks of the second to go. Can you believe it? The West has come through with a safety, and the West has the lead 22-21.
And that means the East is kicking the football, too, from the 20-yard line. And 2 penalties drives them back from the 25-yard line area all the way back to the 5. 2 negative plays, which have been damaging to the East all game long. And what an amazing turnaround. No timeouts left for the West when they're able to get a safety. And this is an example where it's hard to keep your head when you're Brandon Malikas and you're trying to run the football, but he should have just thrown the ball for an incomplete pass. He was 6 yards deep in the end zone. You see the penalties here, but a bad snap. He does a good job of getting it on the bounce. But right here, if he just would have thrown the football away out of the pocket, he would have just had an incomplete pass, stopped the clock, and he would have got the ball at the inch-yard line. But instead, he had to run 7 yards from that point out and could not get it done. The West is going to be ready for an onside kick now, as the East will be free kicking it from the 20-yard line. And what an amazing turnaround. I've never seen anything like this. West driving the ball down the field, 79 yards to go. Looked like they were getting close to making a play to get in the end zone when the ball stripped away. They lose a turnover for the 6th time tonight, and the East has the game, except for the East gets driven back to the 5. it isn't even close. The West dominated those 2 plays. Get a safety down by 1. When have you seen a game go from 21-20 to 22-21 on a safety?
Look at this set up for an onside kick here. They'll come from the 20-yard line. West leads East 22-21. A safety has put the West squad, the guys in green, in the lead. There's the onside kick. Recovered by the West squad. In fact, it's Tanner Arand, who came up with a safety, then comes up with a recovery in the onside kick. And the West squad's going to have it at the 42-yard line with 57 seconds to go.
Now the East team has all 3 timeouts. Their composure, what would it be like? Are they going to be able to concentrate? But they can keep much time from running off if they just make 3 quick plays. You have to expect the West in this situation after the free kick at the 41-yard line of the East to run the ball. So the East squad needs to stop the run 3 straight times, call timeout real quickly, and they may be getting the football back with 35 seconds left to try to score going the other direction.
Murray with it. He's going to follow his blockers. He gets to the 35, 33, 32-yard line. First down markers at the 31. So Murray with 9 yards.
Perfect run for the West. That couldn't have been better. You'd rather get 9 than 10 because you're more than likely going to pick up 1 yard. So the sequencing of the East being able to burn timeouts is not going to work. If you can just pick up 1 yard, you throw them off, and you are going to be able to ice the ball game, even with the East using their timeouts.
Well, it won't be too long before we'll be talking about high school football in the state of Kansas. Defending champions heading into 2017 Derby in 6A, Mill Valley in 5A, Bishop Miege in 4A Division I, Pratt in Division II, Rossville in 3A, 2A, 1A is Troy, 8-man Division I Osborne, and 8-man Division II Hanover. A lot of those stars from last year took part in this football game and did a terrific job representing their hometowns really well. And just a really fun game to watch tonight. Full of events, just like we like them in the Kansas Shrine Bowl. And we talk about making memories. This one's going to be, regardless of how it turns out, it's going to be a memory maker. 52 seconds to go. West with a 1-point lead and the football. And there's Murray. First down to the 35-yard line. And now the West team ought to be able to just go down to a knee. 46 seconds to go. East team in the West. East team had it. A 21-20 advantage, but unsportsmanlike penalties moved the ball from the 24 down to the 4, and the East couldn't get themselves out of it. Got trapped back in the end zone, and the West team, which looked like they were going to lose this football game for the 3rd consecutive year to the East squad, is 46 seconds away from walking away with a victory. And what a hard-earned win this would be.
It's been a great second half. Both teams were wild and crazy in the first half. West playing well, but turning it over way too much. Second half, the East got off to a good start, and then it settled down. Became a very even game going back and forth. East slight advantage, but a couple of mistakes, and the West is going to be able to kneel down and force the East to use their final timeouts.
Zach Esong, the quarterback now, goes back to one knee, or down to one knee. The clock's on the move, 31 seconds and counting.
2 timeouts left for the East, and they're hoping they'll snap the football quick enough, but they aren't going to be able to do that. The play clock is just starting, so the East is going to have to call timeout to make them snap the ball 2 times, or just say it's been a good ball game, and it has been a great ball game. Amazing win by the West. They get it done. The first time in El Dorado we've seen the game, and the West team wins the ball game after losing 3 of the last 4 and the last 2. The West team gets a win in an amazing 22-21 win.
West is going to win over the East squad by a 22-21 count in a memorable 44th Kansas Shrine Bowl, a game that saw the West build a 14-0 lead. East came back, tied it at 14-all, and then actually took the lead at 21-14. The West came back and pulled to within a point, and it looked like after a missed conversion, it would be a 1-point ball game. The West scored a safety, and that's how it ends up. We're going to take a break here. When we come back, we're going to see if we can announce the MVPs. You're watching the 44th annual Kansas Shrine Bowl. We're back to wrap it up in a moment.
How do you see the world?
At Shriners Hospitals for Children, we know that changing how you see things can turn them into
everyday miracles. Like riding my bike. Breaking boards. Ha! Hugging my mom.
Every day for over 90 years, Shriners Hospitals for Children has been sending love to the rescue, regardless of a family's ability to pay.
If you know a child we can help, call or go online now.
What happens when you register your Cox account and get a user ID and password? You open up a world of possibilities for all your Cox services, like access to live TV and on-demand shows with the Contour app, and TV network apps to watch on the go. Cox Security Suite Plus, powered by McAfee, and phone tools to keep you connected when you leave home. Discover what you can do. Check out the Cox Discover More video series at cox.com/learn.
Reliability. For some, it's in their nature. You can almost take their behavior for granted. Always there, ever faithful. Sort of like how you expect your internet connection to be. Total reliability. With a whole lot of speed. That's Cox high-speed internet with access to the fastest in-home Wi-Fi. The speed you need today and tomorrow, right by your side.
Watching TV the way you want all starts with having the right connections. Cox high-speed internet and Cox TV. At home, you get access to the fastest in-home Wi-Fi to stream seamlessly on multiple devices. Away from home, you can access more than 300,000 Wi-Fi hotspots, so you can watch a variety of TV shows online or by downloading your favorite TV network apps. Learn how with the Cox Discover More video series at cox.com/learn.
22-21 is our final. West has defeated East. They are naming the most valuable players for each team, as they do traditionally at this time of the ballgame for the East squad. The MVP was J.J. Letcher out of Kansas City Piper, who scored a touchdown and was electrified the crowd with a couple of just huge plays, one after the other. And now the West MVP is a defender. Zach Helbing out of Mulvane has been named the most valuable player. Our first team Ark Valley Chisholm Trail Lake Division team at 3, and the special teams MVP. Zach, congratulations on being named the MVP. How does it feel? Did you guys think we were going to win this game? You must have thought that this was an East victory.
Oh no, we knew we had it from the beginning, and you know, we had a little adversity coming in to the second half, and we knew we could finish them off, keep turnovers down, and just play D like we have been the whole first half.
Well, talk about the last couple of plays that you had a chance to play on defense. After penalties, the East had the ball back at the 5, and you dominated 2 times in a row. What did you see?
Oh, we just knew they were going to try to run it, get it back out of the end zone. Our front seven's amazing. We weren't going to let them get a yard. We were going to get them back in the end zone. We were going to get the win.
And you were able to help make that tackle short of the goal line, and that must have been an unbelievable feeling. You're giving the sign safety right away to help the officials.
Yes, yeah, I knew exactly when I tackled him where he was at.
And let me ask another follow-up question here, and the last one for you. Talk about the week a little bit. What's it been like, and is this a week that you'll remember for the rest of your life, you think?
Oh, yeah, it definitely will be. I met great guys, and guys that I'm going to stay in contact with and be friends with for a very long time. And just going through the whole thing, practicing, getting to see all the kids, that was a really big part, and that was what it was all about.
Zach, we enjoyed watching you play tonight. I want to wish you the best of luck as you pursue a college career. Congratulations to you and your teammates on coming through with a victory tonight.
Thank you, thank you.
Stan, heck of a game to watch. A lot of turnovers. That certainly was one of the factors tonight, and that came through in the very end. I don't think we'll ever see a game end in a safety, but you never know, I guess.
Yeah, the West team had a ton of turnovers, but they were able to make enough plays to win the game. It was back and forth. The West team the better all first half. The East the better most the second half, and then had a chance to win the game, but they couldn't keep the football. Remember, the East struggled running the ball right up the middle. That was the theme of the first half, and the West came back and said, we're going to make that haunt you, not going to let you get the football up the field running. And they lost 5 yards on 2 plays, got a safety, and unbelievable game where the West never tried to kick a PAT or a field goal. They hit a safety to make up for it and win 22-21. An amazing, close, exciting football game. We started football season off, but this game was for the kids. The Shrine Bowl kids received a lot of money because it was a great turnout. A lot of people donated, and a lot of fans paid to get in to watch the Kansas Shrine Bowl 2017.
And I enjoyed it. Let's do it again in Pittsburgh next summer. This will be number 45 coming up. As we close the telecast, we wish to pass along our thanks to the Shriners of Kansas. Sarah Van Petten is the executive director, and her small but energetic staff do a terrific job. We thank the citizens of El Dorado. They've been terrific. Butler Community College has been welcoming as usual. Production has been provided courtesy of Charter Spectrum. Our producer director has been Joe Novacek, and the guys at Charter Spectrum, men and women of Charter Spectrum, do a terrific job. And what a game it was to watch. A game which saw the West build a big lead. East came back. And a game that saw a total of 9 turnovers, 7 of them by the West team. And in the end, it was a safety and a dramatic play that made the difference. Once again, the final score from El Dorado was the West team 22, the East 21. For Stan Weber, this is Mark Ewing saying, thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you in Pittsburgh in 2018. We say goodbye from the 2017 Kansas Shrine Bowl. So long from El Dorado.
How do you see the world?
At Shriners Hospitals for Children, we know that changing how you see things can turn them into
everyday miracles. Like riding my bike.